What's up, my good peoples, party people? Get down, get funky. It's Friday. Yeah. Yo, Stefan, no, man. No, Stefan. This ain't the crowd, brother. We not doing none of that Facebook stuff right here, bro. I know that's why you requesting. No, we ain't discussing that dude on this platform, brother. No, sir. Not on duty. Yeah, man, I just dropped this real quick, so I'm going to let people, some time to load up. Somebody told me to spin the block last night when it was announced, and won't know where in the world I was going to do another space last night. They trying to mess up a happy home. You feel me? Gucci man, what it do, though?
Yo. I just be on Twitter and see these spaces and just join.
I know you do. That's what it's about, dog. It's convenient.
I didn't even know they had stuff like this on Twitter. Because I don't use
just started
Twitter.
It. Oh, word?
Yeah, I'm more of a Instagram, Snapchat kind of guy.
Okay. Yeah, they Twitter trying to compete, because Clubhouse had this, exclusively at first. And then it came over to Twitter. So this the wave now.
Y'all happy? I know y'all happy Brendan coming back, man.
Yeah, how long did you know?
Hey, we had some good conversations, so I was confident, but at the end of the day, you never know.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I definitely feel you. How the crib, man?
It's going good. I need to get up out of here. I'm getting too lackadaisical in this Florida weather.
They're eating good, too.
Yeah, I'm eating a lot of seafood. I just don't want to come back to Charlottesville to that snow, man. Dang.
Yeah, about to get some more snow this weekend.
That's going to hurt. I hate the cold. That's a fun fact.
You got to buy you a coat, because I know you got jackets.
If I make it to the NFL, I'm gonna tell the GM I can't play after October. I can't play in Buffalo and Green Bay and places like that.
Oh, so you trying to play somewhere where they trash and they don't got nothing to play for, period.
It's about the coins. Nah. But I just don't like that cold, man. Growing up in Florida, boy, that cold is something different.
Well, we had to go to a dome team then.
A dome.
And then hopefully y'all get home field advantage. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't get why we build indoors and don't use them.
That's true. Don't go play for Danny Nichols' favorite team, the Cleveland Browns, because you be cold and miserable. Nah, I'm just messing with him.
Practice outside in the cold, and I'm like, why we ain't using the indoor? We got an indoor.
I mean, because you play outdoor. That's why you got to get used to it.
Hey, man, that's for game day. That's a different adrenaline running. It ain't as cold on game day.
That's true. I agree with you on that. I never was cold during the game, but I was cold in practice.
Nah, I've been cold a few games. That, what was it, Notre Dame? I was freezing.
Oh, yeah, it did get cold that game. Second half? Oh, yes, sir. That wind started howling.
Yeah, I was freezing.
Tech ain't want that bad.
Yeah, I don't even.
Tech ain't want that bad.
Yeah, for sure. This space be filling up quick, man. You got a good fan base.
It's the Wahoo fan base, man. It's us. You know what I'm saying?
I need to get more connected. I'm gonna definitely. I feel like I don't really know too many people.
Oh yeah, you trying to meet some people? You talking to the right one? Then I get you right.
He done told me that before, and nothing ain't happened, man.
Do you use my phone number?
I mean, I've been home. Like when we were at the press conference, I was like, man, I don't really know too many alumni. You're like, I got you, man. I got you.
And then you dipped.
No, I had to. They did all the interview stuff. I was doing interview things.
Oh, we got plenty of time for that. Oh, see, now you here in the spring, yeah, and then the summer, yeah. We're gonna get you right.
Hey, AJ lucky he didn't play in the military bowl.
Oh my God, yes sir.
He froze, man.
Man, we played Kentucky one year. They beat us so bad. They didn't throw the ball once. They had like 600 rushing yards. It was freezing. It was raining. Man, that was the worst game ever.
Shit, Hawk, you remember when Pitt did that? Pouring rain ran for like 400 on us?
Down here at Scott State?
Yeah, man, that rain was wicked.
Yeah. And they hurt almost everybody. Mama Joy got hurt. Mandy got hurt. Because when we played at Georgia Tech, we only had two down linemen.
Two down.
Against them. Like, we only had two linemen because everybody
we were
got
missing
hurt
so many people.
Yeah.
Man, that's
We
crazy.
still almost won.
Yeah, they called that BS pass interference on Bryce, and then we missed the field goal, which really wasn't the field goal kicker's fault. They should have never, threw that flag anyway.
Okay, question number 8. What if I told you my fiance left me?
My bad. My TV. Can you hear my TV in the background?
Yeah, what you looking at, Judge?
Nah, man. I don't even watch TV. It just was on. To be honest.
What you mean you don't watch TV?
I don't.
You watch YouTube, don't you?
Yeah, I be on YouTube. It's so bad. I can't go to sleep without like my phone in my hand on YouTube. Like I just can't.
Oh my God, my son and my daughter the same way. And I be thinking they crazy.
You know, it's crazy. I think it's the psychologist doc. He was telling us like the habits that you're not supposed to lay in bed throughout the day because like you'll stay up when you're trying to go to sleep from laying in your bed and like being on your phone and stuff. And I was like, this man just talking. He don't know what he talking about. But like as I find myself laying down, I can't sleep unless I'm on my phone in the bed. Like I just can't lay down and go to sleep. Close my eyes. It just don't work.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got to change my sleeping habits.
So he was right there. See, they do be knowing they talking.
Hey, I gotta go through it first. I don't believe everything that's given to me. I gotta experience it myself. I gotta test it out.
Nah, I feel you on that. See, and that's why usually if I'm training somebody, I don't just say, "Hey, do this." I'd be like, "Look, watch how I do this. See how I did that? Now you do it."
Go. I don't know how that looked with you doing it, but I feel what you're saying.
Like when we did our walkthrough and I showed you how I would jam you up or get off the line. Yeah, you remember that. They stopped rolling. I wish we would have kept it real.
You funny, man. Look, I don't want to take up too much of your show, man, you know.
What are you talking about? The fans want to hear you talk. You Gucci man.
Hey, man.
And you wear number 3, so you know they're going to pay attention when you talk. You got number 3 on.
I didn't even know how important number 3 was. It's like
you and Wicks.
I just got it because number 4 got taken. So I was like, dang, I'm going to just get number 3 then. But it was also a symbolization of like new beginnings because like I had number 2 before I had number 4. I had 27. I've never had the number 3 ever. I was like, you know what? I'm in a new place, new atmosphere. I'm going to get number 3. Then comes to find out, Anthony Poindexter was number 3, and I had no clue. I thought they were retiring the jersey. At one point, I was like, dang, I ain't going to be able to wear it.
Yeah, but then right after that, a guy named Quinn Blandon picked it up.
Oh, Quinn. I hope he not in the...
Nah, he ain't here.
The space.
He ain't here right now. Don't make him come pop.
That's my boy, though. That's my boy. I was, I think, a freshman when Quinn was a senior. What did he graduate, 2017?
Yeah, 2017, because that's a military bowl year.
Yeah, I always be talking trash to him because I was at Louisville with Lamar, and I taught him how we beat up on him at Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, Lamar got loose on one of them runs. Yeah,
I was watching.
Man, I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like 2016 year though, y'all had him on the ropes.
Had him, bro. That dime he threw it down because Juan was right there on the receiver.
That was crazy.
He threw a dime.
I was about to say, bro, the worst thing about the Military Bowl, Quinn Blanding warmed up without a shirt. And that shit was like single digits. When was, bro?
That's what made Hassi start doing it.
Man, I could not do that.
Yep, Hassi started doing the same thing.
I know y'all excited Brendan back though.
Yeah, facts, bro. I'm glad bro came back, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there was a lot of temptation to leave just because when you have a year like he had, individually. You know what I'm saying? So, and then with guys transferring, that's on the front line.
Right. That
made it hard.
That actually was the most shocking because, I didn't think they was for real.
Yeah.
But them boys was for real, man. I don't know what it was, what caused it, but, I wish them boys the best of luck to my guys. Ryan Swoboda was actually my, locker neighbor, man. We had a lot of good convos, real good dude. So, I wish those boys the best, man.
Yeah, man. Now we got to find out who gonna step in. You feel me? So,
yeah,
them young boys getting ready.
Yeah, got to get ready. And I think we got a dude coming in, right? From Alabama, right? Or a visit?
He gonna visit, yeah. He visiting somewhere else first, and then he coming here.
I think that was the one that Jackie said might not come because of the snowstorm. He going to Colorado first.
Yeah, he going to Colorado first. Yeah, so that okay. That's the one.
And I will bet 2J wins that recruiting battle.
Facts. Once he meet 2J, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Once you meet 2J, it's a wrap. I'm sorry. If you're a lineman and he meets you, it's like when Prince was alive. Don't look at him in his eyes. You're done.
Prince, I don't know about Prince. I say Michael, not Prince.
Wait a minute. You don't know about Purple Rain, Prince?
I know about. I like Prince, but I'm like Michael.
Man, look,
there's no comparison.
What time your mama get home? Tell your mama put some Prince on for you and let her school you on who
that's
Prince
all I
is.
know. That's all I listen to. That's all I'm gonna listen to. I told you I'm an old school. I listen to old music. Lenny Williams, Teddy Pendergrass. That's my domain.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to pull out the Purple Rain just to get it started and just let it ride. Matter of fact, go look at the movie again.
Nah, I don't like that movie.
Huh?
Where your boy OG at, man?
OG in the mud right now, literally. OG is an important man right now because with the cold weather and stuff, people pipes be bursting and stuff. He a plumber, so.
You making that bread then?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
Let me get my big bro Dwight Vick in here right quick. You know what I'm saying? I see my man the Juice Man in here. That was Jackie right on time. Low, the money man Low in here, my guy Low. You know who I'm talking to. I don't want to keep pointing everybody out because they get embarrassed because they lurking.
They trying to stay under the radar.
Yeah, some folks just want to listen. That's how I did when I be in the battle rap spaces. I can jump in there and be like, oh, yo, go get that ball hog dude to talk some battle. I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to that guy. No. Not today.
When is the snowstorm supposed to come, you know?
Sunday.
Oh, man. So how am I going to fly in on Monday?
Man. That's a good question, my man.
I ain't even get the flight insurance. I never do.
Oh, man. You got a layover in Charlotte? Because you had to spend a night you going to Charlotte. That's that's like almost guaranteed anytime you got a connection to Charlotte.
Oh, my goodness. It is a layover in Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. You going to sleep.
That's crazy. You know what's actually crazy? My first time coming to Charlottesville on a plane, I had never been on one of those little planes coming into Charlottesville.
Uh-huh.
Man, that thing tripped me out. Just getting on the plane, I had to duck, and I could legit touch window to window with my wingspan. I was like, oh, man.
That joint loud, too.
I don't like them little planes, man. I'm happy the flight be like 45 minutes, though. It'd be quick.
Yeah. Big Vic, what's good with you, bro?
Hey, what up, man? I was just jumping in, man. I love rocking with my UVA brothers. What's good, everybody? Hey, Armstrong, man. Hey, listen. That kid is special, man. I'm surprised he's coming back, man. I don't know. Was it because his draft report wasn't what he thought it was going to be?
I think that probably played a role. You know what I'm saying? Just depending on, because these days they'll cut a 5th or 6th round QB now. You know, back in the day, that was almost like if you was a QB, you was good.
Yeah. Listen, make no mistake about it. I know we rivals on the field, but that's one game a week. For some people, it's all year. But for me, real recognized, real iron sharp as iron. That kid can play. He was out there putting up numbers, man. I mean, I saw him get hurt that BYU game, and I was like, damn, like, I didn't really want to see it. And because I've been there. I mean, I'm old enough to remember my brother Poindexter, my senior year, his senior year. We're the same year. I was at home on an off week in Hampton. And I remember I was at the crib watching him. I believe it was against NC State, and he hurt his knee. And I really was just sitting there like, I just felt awful. You know, when you're a gladiator in this sport, you don't want to see anybody get injured. Only time I even come close to that when I'm playing fantasy, I just want somebody to go out for the game for a cramp or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fantasy got you root against people, but all jokes aside, man, that's great news for UVA, man. I can't keep up with all this stuff going on in the ACC. Are you guys running a new system offensively?
Yeah, it won't be the air raid like it was with Coach Anai. Elliott runs a more balanced system. He utilizes backs a lot more than what we're accustomed to here. So I think that'll definitely help him overall as far as not trying to do so much with his legs. But that's always an option. And of course, we got to make sure he protected since we lost pretty much our entire offensive line. So, man, it's definitely going to be a different scheme. But the weapons, we got plenty of weapons on the outside. We got backs. Like Mike Hollins is still here. Tyler Papa, he'll grad transfer. So he transferred away. But we got backs here, bro, like to be balanced. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah. Truthfully, we just talking football. This ain't, whatever rivalry talk. Truthfully, I've always watched ACC. Even when I was in the Big East, we always watched ACC football and basketball. When I watch UVA play, obviously y'all got that cyborg at tight end that looked like he could be on the court too. But I think at times, if you want to be critical, I thought a lot was placed on Armstrong's shoulder. He can handle it, but I felt like sometimes the backs were not utilized as much. But that's just being, one of those things you can critical, because y'all had some horses at running back, but at the same time, I mean, it worked for y'all, man. Like every game y'all were in, that kid put up numbers, man. And, hopefully he stays healthy this year, man. And he has a great season, man. I know you guys should be excited because, the kid can play. Like, the thing I like about him too, man, is, he could have easily came out and had a lot to say, because I think the Heisman has changed. I don't think it's the same award it was when I was young or when I was playing, but I thought he kind of got overlooked a lot. And I know people on Twitter that I follow and that follow me that are UVA fans were upset. But I think what people got to understand, and you talked about this, Hawk, it's a narrative when it comes to college football where a lot of times media guys that create the narrative don't want to look silly and include the guy that they slept on. So it wasn't more so about him not being recognized. It was more so about people wanting to put people in these positions long before the season starts.
Nah, you right, big bro. My bad. Yeah, you right, man. Like that narrative is out there, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Like any other situation, the kid would be more vocal. But he just kept his chin down and kept pressing along, man, like fighting through that rib injury and understanding that a lot of pressure did fall on him individually to make a lot of things happen just because of how the game was called and what he was asked to do. And, sometimes we had some breakdowns defensively. So he was being called to stay the course or speed up and try to make more plays than what should be asked of him at certain points. So, yeah, man. So I'm just happy to have him back. I think we could definitely be more balanced with the offensive scheme that Elliott runs. Defensively, I like to hire with our new defensive coordinator out of Air Force. I'm not calling him Coach Rudy or Big Skeet like they were saying yesterday. I have definitely not called. I don't even feel right that I said that again. But but it's all about the one thing I don't want, because we in the media and we know about narratives. If his numbers decline as far as passing yards or touchdowns, what you got to look at is his accuracy, his efficiency, and then the overall wins. Like, you look at that, or you just need to break down his game more in depth versus just looking at the face value numbers, because we definitely want to have the same season like he did this year, but you hope he really doesn't because you want the offense to be more balanced, if that makes sense.
Hey, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that's why I was saying, like, I felt like a lot of times it was very similar to Perkins. Perkins is one of the best. I asked you on Twitter, I might even ask you on one of your lives, was he the best quarterback? Sean Moore was a baller. Obviously, Aaron Brooks was that dude. But I felt like the difference between those two guys with Sean Moore and Aaron Brooks and even Mike Grove is that they had a lot of talent around them, and not that these guys didn't, but Perkins, it looked like a lot was on his shoulders.
Yep.
And I think that wears on the quarterback, especially when you can run. And then, all of a sudden, one thing about Perkins is he took a lot of shots. And I know the quarterback in the dual threat era that we live in with the offenses being wide open are going to be runners, but I feel like, when it comes to maximizing talent at the quarterback position, you got to use your weapons around them. Yeah. You already know who my cousin is, and my cousin will tell you the first thing. Mike's best years, it's funny, people talk about the Michael Vick experience at Atlanta, but his best years were when he was in Philadelphia, when he had all those guys, Deshaun Jackson and them around him.
Yep. Yep. He showed everybody that he can process information and go from one read to the next because he had a coach saying, hey, don't use your legs as much. Use their legs. I was with him his rookie year in Atlanta when he got there with Dan Reeves, even though I got cut at the end of camp. But I understood how they were bringing him along, saying, look, man, you run under a 4.2. Take off. You know what I'm saying? So, what can you do when you that young and you that special and that athletically gifted? Like, you're going to do what's the most comfortable to you and what you feel like is a cheat code. It's no different than the Drew Breeses and the Tom Brady's utilizing the mesh concept of understanding that, okay, my slot receivers can manipulate these linebackers that if they step up and bam them, I got the tight end right behind them on the square end.
No question.
If you want to stay back, I'm gonna dump it to the Deion Branches and the Wes Welkers, and people think I'm dinking and dunking, but I'm showing high IQ. I'm showing that these big boys, sooner or later, they're gonna take this bait. And when they take this bait, we're going to bust them over the top. Well, you don't want to get busted in the defense, not in the middle of the field. No, sir.
No question. What do you who you guys open up with next year?
Don't get me lying. You make me feel like Woody Page
now.
I need to go check the schedule like he used to do it around the horn.
Yeah, man. I know it's technically basketball season now, but I was just curious, man.
Oh, yeah, we beat y'all this week, too. Yeah, we beat y'all.
Oh yeah, I know. Look. I know. Y'all had that new fake Jack Salt. That big boy down low was bodying people, man. Yeah, man. Y'all were that was a weird game, man.
It was ugly too.
It was weird, man. That was a weird game, man. But for all them people, man, look, man. It's funny how, and I've talked about my respect and admiration for Coach Bennett, man. Shout out to Coach Bennett, man. There's a guy named Isaiah Vick who's a 6'5" sophomore in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep plugging.
I know his daddy.
Yeah. Look, hey, it's funny how though with Bennett and even my guy Mike Young, how expectations will hold a coach hostage, right? Like we have short memories. How all of a sudden there's people questioning his decision making and recruiting. When sometimes, man, basketball's a weird season. It's ebbs and flows to it. Like, the season's not over. The ACC, technically, everybody's talking about Duke, is still up for grabs. Miami surprised some people, but it's not over, man. So I just caution people to be patient. It's what it is. It's been some ugly losses, to Carolina, but at the same time, man, his teams typically get better as the season progresses.
That's a fact. Well, I always say, man, if your defense, if you can carry a defense from arena to arena, basketball, sooner or later, it's a days you could get hot. And I know we be having these scoring droughts and people hate that, but as long as that defense intact, you always got a chance. Now, the other team scoring and getting offensive rebounds, that's different. But the one thing with Bennett, I know everybody's talking about his lineups and these guys shouldn't play together and that, but he's a let me stop the ball first type of coach. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take the good with the bad with that.
Hey, look, man. In 2019, he was national champion, man. After the year before, he lost to a 16 seed, first time ever. So I'm envious of that. We all know when it comes to rivalry. The Hokies fall short on that. So, like, at the end of the day, shoot, I would love to say my team won a national championship in 2019, but I do believe in being greedy when it comes to championships and winning. But I think, at the end of the day, man, you're going to see a team grow up right in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, like I said, man, even as great as Duke is, I don't really think across the landscape of college football, I don't think when it comes down to it, it's a clear dominant team. I believe there were a couple of upsets last night. So this is why I do think college basketball has a leg up over college football, because regardless of that great performance Georgia had, there is definitely SEC and Alabama and Georgia fatigue, where in college basketball, you could be a 9 seed and make a run to the Elite Eight. So, it's just different. That's the difference, man. And they got to fix the playoff system in college football, because, I watched it. At first, I wasn't. At first, it was a defensive struggle, and I was getting ready to turn, but I'm glad I stuck with it. And I think it's funny you mentioned, going back to the topic of your space with Brendan Armstrong, I tweeted earlier, and I believe it got like 500 and some likes and 1,000 retweets, but I stand by it. If you look at the successful teams in college football, they have a great offense and great defensive line. So as good as Armstrong's going to be, you got to protect him, as I mentioned earlier, with using his weapons. But the offensive line has got to take care of business. And the defense, the defense, obviously, UVA's defense was a huge issue for them last year when it comes to, that BYU game, the Carolina game. You guys were in a shootout, but you couldn't get stops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I think you're right. And you look at all the very good Virginia teams, it fit the description. You look at the offensive line and look at the defensive line. Any team that was good at UVA, look at those two units. They could go. Straight like that. They could go. So that holds true. Let me see. We got other speakers in the space. Hey, Damon, did you want to say anything? Joe, you want to say anything? You guys haven't came off mute yet. I know we've been going back and forth.
Well, I would honestly, again, shout out to you, Ball Hawk, for this, for the Twitter spaces. Again, man, I really enjoy these so much. You giving folks such a big platform. Just shout out to you again.
Appreciate you.
But honestly, piggyback off what Dwight was saying, as far as the narrative with the Heisman. I think you'd probably see a lot more recognition. As far as Brennan getting more votes and more recognition and stuff like that, if the team had more wins, or if the team was more balanced. Like just going back to the balancing with the pass and the run. I think if we could have pulled out those wins against North Carolina, against BYU, I bet you, his recognition would have went sky through the roof for sure.
Yep.
And so, again, I'm very, very glad that we getting Brennan back, because that is a big, that's a big sigh of relief for us for sure. So, hopefully with that, we can get, again, going back to what Dwight said, as far as the offensive line, we gotta be able to protect Brennan. But I think that with him coming back, the sky's the limit for this team at this point. So I'm excited and glad to have him back.
Yeah, man, you're 100% right. And that's the thing with college sports, or just any sports in general, right? When you talk about top players, especially the quarterbacks, and you're putting up gaudy numbers, folks will try to kind of dissect why you got those numbers, right? They'll say, oh, this happened in garbage time, and this happened here, and this happened there. And I'm sitting there, I look at the game different. I'm like, I don't look at nothing as garbage time if I'm competing. Like, damn it, I'm competing to the end of the game. Ain't no such thing as garbage time to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like the last 2 minutes and you down by 20, like 25 or something. Okay, you could air quotation say that's garbage time, but again, I'm still competing. I ain't gonna never stop just because you would quit or the masters say the game is out of line. But yeah, if you think about it, he wins that Carolina game, he skyrockets, right? And then he definitely won that BYU game because he was a magician that second quarter. Like, good God. I mean, both second quarters of those games, he was a magician. Like, come on, man. because everybody forgot he could run. So when he took off versus BYU, everybody thought it was new. And I'm like, no, he just been dinged up, but he can run. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you add additional 2 wins. We had additional 2 wins. He might not be here either.
Yep, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? Everything happened for a reason.
Right.
Our defense don't jump off sides versus Pitt or we get that pick with Bratton. That kid made a hell of a play on the ball. Virginia Tech, if his ankle's not banged up, I even think that quarterback draw is a smart call if he's healthy. But but he wasn't, healthy. He couldn't plant and go. But yeah, man, I think you win both of those 2 games, and you represent the ACC and the Coastal in the championship. Brendan's not here. You feel what I'm saying? That's the truth.
And that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. I think if we pick up a couple more wins, I think Brennan thinks real hard.
He in New York, probably.
NFL.
He in New York, I think, dog. Yeah. We win the ACC Coastal. I mean, cut you off. We win the ACC Coastal. He's the ACC Player of the Year over Pickett. Yeah. Period. You know what I'm saying? He's first team All ACC over Pickett. Period. Mm-hmm. He's going to New York, and then he got a better shot of probably winning the Heisman than Pickett, just because all the spectacular running plays he was giving you. You feel what I'm saying? Now I don't think he would have won over Bryce Young. I think the kid from Alabama was going to win that regardless. But now you got him coming back. So you got the kid from Alabama, you got Stroud, but after those 2 QBs, like I'm right there, like, yo, let me get BA, huh? Yep. What y'all talking about? He just don't have the wins like they have. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, everything happened for a reason, man, and I think both sides of the ball, like I defensive will be better. You know what I'm saying? We know that we're going to need some guys up front. We know we're going to need to replace some backers that left. We got one of the better boundary corners in the ACC, and he on the call right now. Not just saying it because he on the call, but I said that at the spring that AJ was going to be nice. I said he was going to be a starter. Nobody was going to take his position. They're going to have to fight for the other ones. You know what I'm saying? So he nice. Like, I ain't worried about the side that 3 is on. You know what I'm saying? So we got to find somebody opposite him. The safeties we got, it's all about communicating and schematically understanding what to do versus different route combinations, because you could pass a lot of times this year. We could have passed things off to guys who were looking for work, and we didn't do that this year. So it was like a lot of little things that really got us in trouble in the secondary, not just their ability to cover one-on-one. It was their ability to cover as a unit that they could have made it easier on themselves, and just understanding, seeing the field and things like that. But yeah, bro, with BA here, anytime you got a good quarterback in college, you better get excited, damn it, because this is a college-driven level, just like high school. Your quarterback good and he can run around, you got a real good shot every single time you run out there. D. Haley, what's good with you, homie?
What's up, fam? Just listening in, man. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, we good, man. Everybody anticipating the snow. They out here getting the roads ready here in Charlottesville right now.
Same down here in Blacksburg, Christiansburg. Everybody going crazy.
Yeah, man. We got Jackie here. Jack, you got any more info? Have you tried to contact BA, Jackie? We want to know that. Did you try to call him? Look, I just put it on the hot seat. Scrimmage play in the building. What's good, my guys? Let me get Damon back. Jackie up here too.
Hey, Hawk, I know you probably late to the party, but you probably already hit on it. With getting BA back and our receiving group, man, our receiving group can be the best, can be one of the top 5 in the country for real. And that's what that's what I'm excited about, because we're getting everybody back to 100%, and with that group, it can be special for real.
Yeah, because KT can still announce that he want to come back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Billy already said he coming back. So yeah, we could be top 5 again as a unit.
For sure.
In my humble opinion. Petty Hawk is conceited. Ball Hawk is very humble. Jackie, what's going on?
Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing?
We doing well. We doing well. Did you talk to BA? Did you try to track him down? No, he at home.
No, I've not talked to BA. I'm letting, he's enjoying his moment right now.
You smart.
Let him relish the moment. He just, announced. That's all everybody wants to know right now anyways. Right. And plus right now we're all busy trying to see where all the coaching staff is right now on the recruiting trail. So even my daughter's excited.
Yeah, you got it. We should have put a track on all their vehicles so we keep track on like they did with the jet.
Don't give people ideas.
Yeah,
or they're going to do like me and stop the airport and see when they're leaving on the flight.
Camping out.
Well, to be fair, when I was at University of Florida, we would literally camp out outside of the campus to see visitors arrive.
Oh, wow. Posted
up. About 10 of us who were recruiting down there would sit outside of the stadium as official visitors would arrive in those big black SUVs with tinted windows.
Wow.
And then see them go on the golf cart. And then a bunch of us would go to the airport to get interviews outside of Gainesville Airport as they leave from their official visitors.
Man,
SEC football, man, it's a different breed.
Pandemonium, y'all like the WWE down there.
Yeah, no, it's and then you've got. All right, she's good. Then you've got when the beat writers all getting the same interview because basically everyone's got a phone in this poor kid's face at 7-8 in the morning as he's leaving on the flight, and then everyone's trying to rush it to get it first up. So it's definitely different. But no, it's exciting right now, because it's finally stuff is happening again. Contact period is a fun time, and official visitors are coming in. Junior day, a couple of great in-state players are going to make. I know a lot of people are focusing on in-state, and they're going to have in-state players in the house tomorrow and Saturday for a long junior day.
Nice.
And then the other thing, they're going to have some really nice-looking guys, nice targets coming in on official visits. So a lot of transfer targets. I'm really interested to see on Andres Fox is one of those guys who are going to be on campus. He's that Stanford edge transfer. And he's a good-looking prospect. He was a good-looking prospect in high school from Alabama, and he's a really good prospect right now. So that's a pretty big visit coming on grounds. And then obviously Coach TJ, the man doesn't sleep, doesn't stop. And he's a couple O-linemen coming into town too. So it's going to be it's a productive weekend. I don't know if there will be any announcements. A lot of these guys are, when you deal with transfers, these guys aren't going to be swayed by facilities or by look at something shiny or something like that. They're there to make a business decision. And all these guys are saying, we went through this process when we were a high schooler, and right now this is a whole different mindset. So I don't expect, rash decisions or stuff like that. These guys are going very methodical going in, and they have a lot of questions. They don't know what's going to happen, next year as far as the new staff. They don't have film to look at. So it'll be so it's going to be an exciting weekend for UVA just to get.
Nice. I like it, especially when it said that the older guys, they focus. The shiny things don't really sway them. They already like.
Facts.
To be fair, high schoolers don't. I know, sweetie. Sorry. And to be fair, I've covered a lot of high schoolers too that now aren't that excited about this. Don't get me wrong. A good facility will lure high schoolers in because it shows that you're investing in their future. Investing in their future is always important. They don't need the bowling alley. They just need to show that you're putting investment in their football futures, or at least their futures. And a lot of guys know that. These are smart young men who are trying to figure out how to better prepare their futures, either for football or help their families. So it's so if you can show them that you have a plan of attack and how you're changing the game with the new college football landscape, you have a shot.
Definitely. Who else? Anybody that just became a speaker want to? Hey, Jack, anything? Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Hey, man, this is my first time on this platform. Been listening to you for a while now, but I appreciate you opening this platform for us.
Yes,
But I just wanted to add two things. I said, one, do you feel like having Brennan Armstrong back will influence some of these big-time transfers because they get to have a superstar quarterback to play behind? And also, I also have seen some of these preferred walk-on offers, and Tony Elliott's going to have some dogs as far as that, too. Sorry, that's my daughter. But I saw that he offered a preferred walk-on to this the boy out of Verona, Anthony Fisher. That dude's a dog. And he's got offers from, I think, Yale, a couple like Ivy League schools. But I heard that the defensive coordinator that we just hired from Air Force was recruiting him to come to Air Force. So I just want to hear your input on all that.
Shoot, man. I definitely like what they've been doing as far as who they've been reaching out and contacting and just recruiting to come to this university. I think they're taking all the right steps. Now, I know a lot of fans wish they were more out in the open with their moves, but when everything's finally revealed, you know, it makes a lot of sense. You know, it's encouraging. It causes excitement. And I just like how he goes about his business. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the targets and the people that can possibly – now, as far as speaking of BA, he is like a shiny new car, right? Because if you are somebody in that portal, especially if you're an offensive lineman, especially if you're a skill guy, like that's a high-caliber football player that you can help increase his chance of being more successful, and thus the team could be more successful. So if I'm an offensive lineman, man, and I'm in that portal, once you meet Coach 2J, like I said, it's a wrap. Like once he talks to you and you meet him, how can you not love him? Now, I'm not being biased. I'm just being real. Like the first time I met 2J, he became a guy that I was an advocate for from the jump. So he was one of the coaches that I really wanted Coach Elliott to keep on staff, man, and he kept him. And I think he's very vital because he develops he develops linemen. He just don't get a bunch of talent and just kind of just allow their development to be on their terms. Like, no, he can develop you. You know what I'm saying? You become that much better football player with him as your coach. And with Brendan as the quarterback, I'm pretty sure he's a great bargaining tool as far as attracting guys to come be a part of this because, you know, a lot of eyes want to be on you at the university. And we already know what our academics does here, but as far as on the field product, you got a head coach who has been a part of championship runs. You have a very successful quarterback individually. So that should get you excited. And then the staff that we have, orchestrated here should get you excited. So, and the fan base as well. So it's just one of them things that, yeah, like you said, man, BA can definitely be a great bargaining tool to kind of have you choose UVA as a destination spot for you if you're a transfer.
And I just want to add something real quick. I've already talked to a few transfer targets that have mentioned last night that have already mentioned Armstrong as
okay.
Like the two recent new offers. I spoke to them and they both brought up that Armstrong is coming back is a huge thing for them when they look at it. Obviously, as a tight end, you want someone to throw you the ball. And then as a lineman, like you said, you want someone in the back that they have confidence that can get the ball out, not kind of leave them stranded there too. So it is already having an effect.
Hey, Hulk, just to chime in on the transfer thing, there's a tight end from Virginia, Steven Stilianos, who actually played high school in Virginia but went to Lafayette. Man, that would be a great kid to have transferred in. He's real hot. I know he has Syracuse has offered him, but I hope that's a kid that we can get. And I know he really wants to come to UVA. He'll be there this weekend, actually.
Okay.
When I talked to him yesterday. And then the other thing is the guy mentioned about preferred walk-on offers for high-skilled kids. The thing is, man, these preferred walk-ons don't think they're paying a whole lot of money to come to school, man. These kids have academics, and they're going to get money, and they're going to get a lot of their school paid for. So that's just another way of getting academic scholarships instead of athletic scholarships. So you gotta think about it. If you see preferred walk-on, don't necessarily think these kids aren't getting scholarships. They're just not getting that athletic scholarship, but they're going to get a lot of school paid for because their academics are up par to even be considered as a preferred walk-on to come to UVA, because that's not an easy task to even. You got to get in before you even get considered. So you're going to get money to get in. So that's why we have a lot of skill, a lot of high talented guys that can be walk-ons, and you see them committing immediately because they know they're going to get a chance to play. That's just not something that you're going to come in and be a walk-on and you're going to be the last man on the bench. Now these kids are walking on to get school paid for and trying to compete for a spot.
Woo, hey, boy, you just dropped some jewels right there, because I forgot to even discuss how it's difficult for some transfers to get in because of the admissions part, and then the preferred walk-on part. You hit the nail on the head. They don't have to just be athletic scholarship. They could be academic scholarship players. So, yeah, brother. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that.
And hey, Ball.
Go ahead, Jacob. Yep.
So also, I follow Jackie on Twitter, and she's got a lot of good insight, and I appreciate that. I saw that she had a tweet about there's an offensive lineman out of Alabama, a massive individual that I am hoping that he decides to take his talents to Charlottesville. I was just wondering if there's any news or positive things about that guy.
Hey, yeah, it's way too early to tell what's going on with him because he just entered a transfer portal, I believe, on Tuesday. So he's taking his first visit to Colorado. He should be there right now or getting there, and then he'll be at UVA, weather permitting. I don't know if he's leaving Colorado on tomorrow or Sunday morning. If he's leaving tomorrow, then he'll most likely be in Charlottesville and miss the worst of the storm, and he'll be in Charlottesville during the storm because he'll be leaving on Monday. But so, yeah, we'll know more after this weekend. And plus, because he just got in on Tuesday, he's going to have other schools reach out. Some of these guys in the portal have been telling me it's pretty crazy. I had one guy tell me I had to turn off my phone for half a day just so I can get a break. Because his phone is blowing up, not just by – sweetie, what is that in your mouth? Sorry.
Yeah.
No. All right, I'll be back in 1 second.
No problem. Anybody? I love the Who's. What's good with you, brother?
What's up, Ahmad?
Chilling, man. You know how we do. Say it up.
I got a very important answer to one of your questions that just came out.
All right.
Coach Elliott just did the video announcing the defensive coordinator, and it's not Rudy. It's not Coach Ski. He called him Coach Rudds. Coach Rudds.
All right, Coach Rudds. That's what I ain't got my round of applause machine hooked up because it's on the mixer, but I would give you a round of applause as long as ain't no daggone feet. God dang.
Also, I don't know, just a tidbit for the basketball fans. UVA just came out with the policy. Apparently, there's going to be no food or drink for the next couple weeks at JPJ or any indoor events due to COVID. And I'm like everybody else, man. I'm excited that QB1's coming back. We had a lot of defections so far, but to have a QB back, that's going to be huge. And the numbers may not be what they were last year just because it's going to be a new offense, but it's going to make Brennan a better quarterback, and it's obviously going to make us a better squad next year. So definitely looking forward to that.
Facts, I agree. And everybody don't moan and groan about the food and drink. I just did it for y'all so y'all don't have to do it, and then we can move on and still be excited about the Who's. God dang it.
Wasn't trying to bring anybody down. I just thought it was, important to let fans know, especially if they're going to the game tomorrow.
Oh, facts. Yeah, the Wake Forest game, I think I'm going to be in attendance for that one. Yeah, I think I may go out there, step into the basketball game. Chill, my man, Kihei Clark right there. That's my guy, Kihei Clark. Petty Hawk does not petty. He does not promote or accept any Kihei Clark slander. So, yeah. This is a Kihei Clark love area right here. We love Kihei. So even if you try to hold him accountable, we don't allow it. Ain't nothing but praise for Kihei here. Hey, Dakota, what's good with you, my guy? Did you dunk on? You gonna dunk on somebody tonight? It's a Friday. I know high schools play on Friday. I need you dunking on somebody with the Route Tree shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my guy, Dakota, in the building. Who else hasn't said anything?
Hey, sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
My daughter figured out how to use a step stool. She's one, and she's actually dealing with a sickness, and that girl got the step stool and moved it, and she was grabbing stuff from the top of the kitchen counter. Back. I think I was just talking about the Alabama lineman. So I think we're going to find out a little bit after this weekend. And like I said, transfer portal guys are just, some of them are being very overwhelmed by the process. And I think a lot of them, I think we talked about this several times, Hawk, about how the NCAA really needs to kind of look at the timeline here. One of the guys said, it's like, it feels like I'm on a time crunch because I can only take visits now this month. And then, I have to make a decision that I want to visit all these schools. I only have 5 visits, but I'm trying to do unofficial visits and official visits. How do I map this out? And then I get, 10 schools telling me they're going to offer me, but not has offered me yet. And then some of them are going to wait until February or March to offer because they're trying to fill out holes right now for spring practice. So are you going to gamble that? So there's a lot of things going on, and some of these guys are very overwhelmed. I would be really shocked if something doesn't happen where they adjust something, and coaches are being overwhelmed too. It's the first year we're seeing the chaos, and I think a lot of people expected this year because of the whole extra COVID eligibility. Because, not only are guys saying, hey, I have one more year.
Yep.
You have guys saying, like, you know what, this is my free year. Let me go play back home next to my family for a year. Something like Swoboda is doing right now.
Exactly what Swoboda did, yeah.
Which is great for him. Playing in front of your family, that's great. And for a good program, too. So, and then you've got guys that, again, this doesn't happen in all programs, and I'm not saying it's not happening at UVA right now, but, I've covered SEC schools where kids are pushed out, and some of these guys are, the NCAA never changed the 85 scholarship number. So you've got coaches having to figure out what to do with all these scholarship offers and find spots because they only have 85. They can sign more players, but okay, what do I do to reach the 85 number?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, same thing. The NCAA just basically said, we're going to change this rule, but we're going to you guys figure out all that. Normal NCAA things. So there's got to be some reform here. This can't be the status quo. It's not good for the student athletes, and it's not good for coaches either. I think the transfer portal was a great idea because I feel like if a coach can move, a student athlete can move. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you want to change your scheme, and you can say everything about being committed to a school, but sometimes a scheme just doesn't work and personalities clash. These, you have to have the opportunity to switch programs. And I think sitting out a year, or I remember covering some petty transfers where they say you can't transfer to this school because of this reason or because schedule in 4 years' time. That was ridiculous. All those things that took away a lot of rights to the student athlete. But they really need to figure this out because it's affecting student athletes. When I was looking at some of those preferred walk-on offers, I was thinking to myself, how many of these kids would have actually gotten athletic scholarships and not prefer? I know they'll still get, someone was saying about, they'll get some money through academics. But when you look at some of these guys who are getting preferred walk-ons, how many of those guys would have gotten an athletic scholarship somewhere else? But now their scholarship is going to the transfer portal guy, or they're dealing with some other thing. So there's got to be a figure. We've got to figure out a different system because you're going to hurt high school athletes down the line now. So basically, I don't know. It's been kind of crazy.
No, I agree with you, and that's what I pointed out a couple of episodes ago, talking about the transfer portal. That a lot of people, it really doesn't register because once you see transfer, you think, oh, it's a riff, a kid not getting his way. But that free year, and I'm saying that in air quotations, and people can't see it, the free year put a lot of strain on the ability to stick with the timetable that a lot of college coaches have, because it's like, if you're in the hot seat, do you go to the transfer portal or do you still try to make sure this recruiting class is high? You're going to try to win right now. And then, you won right now, but you just sacrifice future development. So you don't have the same depth that you would if you would have stayed the course. So, the transfer portal has been good for us as far as incoming quarterbacks and DBs or tight ends and things of that nature. But you don't have a lot of true depth because you're not really developing. You're just bringing on talent. And you could get caught sometimes. So with that free COVID, as you said, guys are now taking those extra years and you trying to scramble and find that scholarship. So you might be influencing somebody to say, hey, man, you think you may want to go somewhere else because you seem to not like the scheme, like you kind of encouraging them to move on. I'm not saying that happened here because the guys that transfer here were playing. So,
hey, Hawk.
Yep.
Hey, I just want to add my 2 cents on the transfer portal. Obviously, you and I played in the late 90s to the early 2000s. I've always had a different take on it. I've always felt, I do feel like there's a contingency of players that are transferring prematurely. When it comes to, okay, I was expected to play my first year and they had this guy, or I'm just not, I'm not really vibing with this scheme. It doesn't really showcase my talents. I think that's fine, but I think at the same time, there are a lot of young men and women, female athletes, who are using it because they just maybe realize that Virginia Tech, UNC, Hampton University, Norfolk State, whatever the school is not the best school for them. And that happens. I just think when you and I were playing, you just transferred. There was no transfer portal. So it wasn't really announced until maybe the spring or till before the season. I also think, man, some of these young men and women that are playing ball now, I mean, it's just different now, man. You have so many external factors that affect their decision from, their trainers are involved. They have a overzealous parent, or they may have a situation where they feel like, you know what, man, I got a girl back home. We lost a guy named Hezekiah Grimsley, who I thought was very talented, a receiver that came to Williamsburg that played at Tech, returned punts, and was a really good receiver. But he transferred to be closer to home, and he went to Hampton University, and it worked out great for him. I just think if I had one wish when it comes to the system in place, I wish there was, like, similar to when guys before they declare for the draft got feedback. I wish there was more of a committee or something, because it seems like the transfer portal, we went from having to have to sit out and, you had to wait and this, down, whatever, to now it seems like, it's just immediate. We had a player up in the Berg who transferred the day of the damn game. Like, that joker transferred before the game started. We found out the dude was in the portal. And, I do think, not to sit on my soapbox, but I do think there are a lot of young men who are doing it for the right reasons, and female athletes. But I also think sometimes it's a bit premature. Now, again, my guy who played for y'all, I was his trainer. I taught him, R.J. Proctor.
Yeah.
He's the guy I helped, train. He's from up here in Northern Virginia, played at Liberty High School in Bilton. He went to UVA, he transferred as a grad transfer to Oklahoma. But, he was like, hey, listen, this is a great opportunity for me. It's at Oklahoma. He enjoyed his time there. But I can say this now. He told me straight up, the dude at Oklahoma, his O-line coach, was horrible. And here I am. I'm like, really, Oklahoma? You block for the what's the quarterback's name that plays for the Eagles? Jalen Hurts. And he was like, man, all they told me was just block my man outside. I had horrible coaching. And RJ, if you don't know him, he played at UVA for 4 years before transferring. Stand-up guy, very, very insightful, intelligent young man. He didn't transfer out of bitterness or anything like that. It was just more so he wanted an opportunity, and there were some changes going on within the UVA coaching staff. I just think it's cliche as it sounds, every situation is different. And I think scheme is a big thing. I have a young man that plays for you guys. I've been involved. His father was my children's track coach. You guys got a kid named Cohen King.
Yep.
Cohen King is one of my guys. And I saw some people getting on him. He got beat or whatever. People don't realize he's playing out of position. And when you look at positioning and scheme, it plays a lot. And as a casual, even a diehard fan, we don't always know what we're looking at. And sometimes players transfer because of that. But as cliche as it sounds, every situation is different. Every kid is not entitled and doesn't want to face adversity. Sometimes they're just doing what's best for them. But I just wish they had some kind of systematic approach in place, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, anybody can correct me, I don't believe a player has to consult with his position or head coach before he enters the transfer portal.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, so, I mean, think about that. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, Hawk.
Yep.
One thing, I just want to touch on one thing that Dwight said. What I feel like the transfer portal is a good thing, and it's good to kind of put some power in the athlete's hands of what they want to do with their future and not have to like set out a year. But one thing I don't like about the transfer portal, and I don't know if y'all feel this way, but I kind of feel like it's benefited more to the quote unquote powerhouses of college football, because not only do they do really well in recruiting these big time athletes out of high school, they also kind of realize that they kind of like a guy, but they don't feel like he's quite there. They know that he can go to one of these quote unquote not powerhouses yet, and he could be coached up. And after he's coached up, they can just go ahead and try to snag him in the transfer portal for his grad year or later down the road. And he is at that point where they feel like they could bring him on. I don't think there's a fix to that situation, but it just kind of feels that way. We had a couple guys leave this year, which I have no ill feelings towards. They're doing what's best for them. But it kind of feels like these big-time programs have came in and snagged these guys after they had been coached up by good coaches, kind of like Dwight said. Proctor was coached up, and then Oklahoma just snagged him.
Yeah, and it could go both ways, because we've benefited also from the portal. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like that's all I was saying now. Like these days, you got to re-recruit your room every year. And I know Robert wanted to say something. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just a shout out to Jackie. I think I pronounced the name. I follow her on Twitter, and my goodness, a great deal of information for me. That really appreciated. And I saw Dakota. He may have left on here, but he sent a tweet to Brennan. Let's go get that Heisman. I thought that was cool, and added all the wide receivers. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing he did to get excited. So I had a question. Maybe you would know. Obviously the offensive line is going to be key, and TJ is out there recruiting already. You saw the stuff on Twitter. In the O-line room, is there any pretty good backups? I haven't heard much. Ahmad, I don't know if you're familiar with whoever's in the backup, whoever now in the offensive line room now at UVA. Is there any information on the progress of those guys or what's going on there?
I mean, they just don't have the game experience. I mean, they're capable. They're capable. They'll be coached up. But it's all about having that game experience. And the guys that are here don't have a lot of that. So if I start throwing out names, I know that's the first thing people are going to say is, oh, they didn't play, so we don't know. So it's just one of the things that we just got to wait and see what takes place and how they respond to the big lights. I think they're capable. Because I was always confident in the depth that we have at the O-line. And now my confidence is being pushed to the forefront because everybody that was a starter and played left. So
yes. Well, that's the key for Brennan too. I think that's the key. That's the key that helped him get his fantastic performance this year.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Nah, no problem, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, Hawk.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you and Jackie. Hey, Jackie. First, I don't know if she's still online or not.
No, she did. She did. My bad. She did.
Oh, no problem. I was wondering, what offense you think we should run? Still in a shotgun on the center? I think Brendan is still used to the shotgun aspect. Because, sometimes, I know I got frustrated sometimes. We have a 4th and 2, and we still in the shotgun mode.
Yeah,
So,
that's to be honest with you, I'm so old school too that I'm like going to center, but that's a lot of offenses across the country and the NFL. You'll see goal line and short situation, and people still going to gun because they feel that's where they can operate.
That's everyone. That's everyone.
That's everyone's. But as far as our offense of scheme, it's still going to be primarily out the shotgun. That's what Clemson ran. But they're more balanced. If you looked at Clemson over the year with Elliott as the OC, they're balanced, bro. Like, look who their running back was and how they featured them. And Brendan would still be asked to run some because Sunshine, when he was a quarterback, he was using his mobility, screens, bubble screens, mesh routes, quick outs, slant routes. So it's timing. It's quick, but it's more of a balance. And then you take your shots after you set everything up in front of the defense. So you start to attack them quick, get the lineman going side to side, happen to go tackle. And then as soon as they seem like they blow, boom, you take a shot down the field because you created more time basically off how you set them up, how you set the table. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And by the way, anybody that wants to know about recruiting, just giving Jackie a shout out. She do great content on Wahoo 24/7, so just check her out.
Facts. Salute to UVA 24/7, man. It's dope. Even the message boards. I know I always mess with the guys who go at me, but you'll find a lot of information on their message boards as well. So definitely check them out. Check out thesaber.com. My man Chris Wright and them. They do a fantastic job. And I know everybody was going at Jerry Ratcliffe doing the coaching process, but definitely check out jerryratcliffe.com, man. Salute to anybody that's Cavs Corner, Scrimmage Play, anybody that is sharing UVA content, man. Support your creators, man. They definitely need your clicks, need you providing input because they spend countless hours out here with their ears to the street, providing what they hear to the fans, especially on a down period like this. So salute to everybody, but definitely salute to Jackie because she always in here sharing her intel. Because that ain't my cup of tea. I just like to look at film and talk about the game. That ain't my road right there. That ain't my lane. You want to talk about some 3-4s and 4-3s and some guns and inside zones and all that, I could talk about that. But talk about recruiting, I'm gonna defer to Jackie and them. That's what they do.
Well,
man,
still looking at.
What you say?
No, I'm trying to think. Well, the coaches' positions we still need to fill.
So we need to fill a special teams coordinator or an additional coach. We've got 2 coaching spots still open. So whether, somebody is, doing the best of both worlds, or if they're just going to focus on being a special teams coordinator, and then we still don't have a quarterbacks coach or a tight ends coach. We don't know who the running backs coach. So we don't know what everything's assigned, but it's 2 slots that's still open.
Hey, Hawk.
Go ahead.
Who the corners coach? I don't even know who the corners coach is.
I'm coaching you. How about that?
Man.
Yeah, we don't. Well, the D coordinator, he has experience coaching DBs. He legit. And then it was some rumblings that Coach Gaither from Army, since he's on the defensive side, that he'll probably be coaching the DBs as well. But until then, just talk to me, man. I got you. Until then I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me text Coach Elliott.
Hey, man, don't be doing that, man.
Tell him Ahmad Hawkins said.
How you gonna shoot me down? I mean, either way, we gonna get this work. Hey,
I'm not.
I got a reference right there. You don't think I can get you ready? Talk to Bryce Hall. I can get you ready, bro.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, but when I jam you, don't say I ain't warn you because you keep pissing me off. I'm gonna jam you hard in the teach period. Be like, this how you jam, and I'm gonna hit you in your chest because you can't catch me. I'm a runner. Like, you may be fast, but you gonna get tired before me because I'm a zigzag. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ahmad, Bob.
Yes.
Again. Quick one. I was thinking after the last one you had, the last Twitter space you had, and you talked about the military background, how important that is with you, and and the others chimed in.
Yeah.
And after the Twitter space, I was thinking, oh my goodness, our defensive coaches we have the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force.
Yep. Yeah, man. We cover all bases, man. They can't run from us. They can't run from us, man. We covered. Jets, tanks, submarines, everything. We got you.
Yeah. So they'll be disciplined. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, our guys were disciplined, with the last coaching staff as well. But with the Service Academy background that you're going to understand what reveille means. You're going to understand what all that, like, oh man, you're going to take me back to my Coach Welch itinerary days of how he used to communicate on there. Oh my God. At 325 and then 328. And look, because D. Haley know.
I think I still got one of them plastic cards.
The plastic card? Oh my goodness, boy. The bus is going to approach the jet at this time.
Yeah.
You're going to get on the jet at this time. You're going to put your seatbelt on at this time.
I know for a fact I got one of them in like a scrapbook just because.
Yeah. And let some be off for a minute. Christ, we're behind. Come on. I'm supposed to have my snack right now. You think I'm just putting it up here just to put it up there? Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get it off the runway. Come on.
For real. That's real talk.
Christ, Hawkins, sit down back there.
Hey, Hawk. Hey, what coach say when y'all win? How good are y'all?
Christ, you're not that good. I don't know why you're celebrating. You're supposed to win. What do you think we work for? I shouldn't have been this close. I don't understand it. You guys, I mean, you're just happy just to win. Like, we had too many penalties, too many turnovers, too many mistakes. But hey, you're playing music. What is a Master P? What is that? What is a tank on a no limit? Like who Wally Rayner? I swear, I just don't understand you. It's nighttime. You have on dark shades. How can you see?
Oh my God!
You youngsters, you guys, I just don't know. Rick, do you have anything to say? George, just go take a shower. We won. Nobody listens to me.
Hey, why Womack? Why are you so loud? What Womack?
No. You gotta say he called him Warmack. Hey,
Womack.
You're always angry. It's like you want to go to war with everybody. I'm your friend. Why are you mad at me?
Shit.
Coach Eddie Hawk.
I gave you the ball enough, didn't I? Thomas. You don't see Thomas doing that.
Oh man.
Right. You guys on the space. You just want me to talk like this. I don't know. Like, I don't get it.
I got
so
it
funny.
started. Thank you.
Hey Hawk, real quick before I had to hop off here. We got a commitment from Bratton, or from Botetourt, from Roanoke kid. He's a Spear kid, Botetourt High School. If you don't know Botetourt High School,
I know about Botetourt.
They putting out players left and right every single year. And actually the connection, which is a good connection, is his commitment. DJ Tolliver, who's up next, whose pops played at UVA. That's one that we're gonna want to get our hands on ASAP in the recruiting process. He's a young kid. He got a couple years left, but I like the connection. Coach Harless up there by the time he putting them kids in the right positions.
Facts, bro. I like that, Lord Botetourt. Spell Botetourt, somebody. Spell it.
I was waiting for you to ask that one.
That's like Phoebus back at home. Spell Phoebus. No. Because I don't know if is it O-E or E-O?
I look it up every time, bro.
Hawk, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir, Steven.
All right, you're talking about supporting. Yes, Steven. You're talking about supporting guys like you that are making this available for us. Because, of course, you can become a subscriber to 247 and get the inside stuff. But how do we support you? How do we support, those that are out there with podcasts and listening? But
to find with you guys. And, you know, when you do public appearances like Aros where you have merchandise with you, and does that really support you in the best way? I know, you know, of course, also you got, you know, people supporting you that you could go and help out, like insurance, able insurance, and, you know, and stuff like that. That's the best. And what's the most direct way, I guess? Just give you money, probably. Write your check.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I always direct people to my Anchor. You go to anchor.fm, search the Ball Hawk Show podcast. There's a support button where you can become a monthly subscriber. So you just it'll draft 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 out of your debit or credit card, and you support like that. I do have a Cash App and Venmo. I know a lot of folks do take the time just periodically. I'll get a ping that somebody donated, and it's $ Ball Hawk LLC if they want to donate like that. And my apparel, my merch, they can find that on sthujuice.com. So I got stuff available there. Got to restock the hoodies, of course. The hoodies, they sell out pretty fast. But majority of my merch, if they just hit me up directly, I'll make them to order. So they
That's
let me
good. That's what
decide.
I've been doing.
Yeah.
I figured that was the best way.
Yeah, and if they want a special
Anchor,
colorway,
that sounds a lot like Patreon. So they've set something up where you can become, you know, just a subscribing member of whatever you're doing through Anchor. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they just do it like that. But I always tell folks, man, the best way, you know, because some people are not comfortable with putting their stuff online. They just went to iTunes and just provided a review. You know, whether it's 1-star, 5-star, and just write in what you like or what you didn't like about the podcast, what you wanted me to prove. That helps the most because they start to, with the algorithm, like you start getting these reviews and folks are taking the time out to just write a review. That's algorithm.
You start moving up a ranking.
Created the most. Yeah. Yep. Because they look at
I never thought of that either. So I didn't even know that worked that way.
Yeah. So that's
definitely
good.
Helps. Yeah. I've been thinking about that and I've been meaning to ask because, you know, we listen to you every day, and that's big time for me. And this is a lot of entertainment value, but it's also getting me that information that I really want to know. Being an insider, I feel like I'm an insider of UVA sports. You know,
you definitely
it's all because of you.
I appreciate it, man. I just want to share the info that I gather, and like I said, I got a lot of good relationships with like Jacqueline and Bart and Chris Wright and Brad, and CBS 19. So I'm one of the folks that if I have some information I can share with them, I share it. Like, you don't have to quote me, and I'm not one of those folks like, oh, you got that from me. It's like, nah, man, because at the end of the day, my focus is the university and getting eyes on them. Because the more eyes on the university, the more eyes on my platform, because I'm connected and I cover them. So that's my approach. I'm not saying everybody approaches it like that, and I respect the way that they take their approach. But me personally, it's about bringing eyes to the program, positive eyes. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely should.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, man. You know, as always, during the season, we got the walkthrough and various things that I do that's connected to the program that get you a behind the scenes look at the players because they have on helmets. So I'm always trying to think of ways of promoting those young men so you can see their faces. Basketball is a luxury. You know, you see them play on TV, you know what they look like. Unless you make a great play and they happen to catch you with your helmet off, they don't know what those young men look like. So that's why I like doing the walkthrough with those gentlemen when they're available and they take time out their busy day because it's usually their off day. But they hit me up. So I get a kick out of AJ was in here, but Anthony Johnson bullied me for like a month. Like, so you can't get no DBs on there? Like, we can't get no love? I can't get no love? I got interceptions. I do this. I was like, we got to get him on before he get me. So,
you ever ask them what their favorite class is? Do they ever talk about classes at all, or you ask them and they just like skirt that? Like,
no.
They talk about that.
They have favorite classes, but a lot of times with the questions that we get for them, there's a lot of like fun stuff that like other players say, yo, ask him about this. It's like the ribbon.
Oh, okay.
They rib each other. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, appreciate
I love that program. It's really good. All
Yeah,
right, I
man.
can't wait to hear you on the mic tomorrow. It's been a while.
Yeah, man. Come out to CHS 11:30 a.m. for both games. It's definitely gonna be fun giving back to the high schools. Yeah.
Hey, Hawk.
Cool.
Yes, sir, Jacob.
Hey, I don't know if you saw yesterday after Brennan announced that he was going to be coming back for his senior year. Pretty close after he did that, the Bleacher Report came out and they had an article about two early Heisman candidates for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Brennan down as a sleeper to win the Heisman. And it kind of made me giggle a little bit because and this is how much we should appreciate, Brennan sticking with us and everything like that. But sorry, my daughter.
You good?
But they said that. Sorry, she done thrown me off my train of thought and everything.
You talking about that?
But I appreciate Brennan how he stuck with us and he's willing to, because he could have very easily gone to one of these big programs and they would have took him easy. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he played for any of those quote unquote big schools, I guarantee he would be a front runner.
Yeah, we were saying that. I mean, cut you off. We were saying we win, the Pitt game, and Virginia. Just say the last two ACC games. He's in the ACC championship. He'll be first team all ACC, and I think he'll be in New York. And then I think he wouldn't be here right now. So
I completely agree.
You're right. He would have been. He would have. The wins hurt his optics. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But I was just saying, it's just funny how the media and they all gravitate towards these big, the Clemsons, the Oklahomas, Alabamas,
Mm-hmm.
Georgias.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was to slide into any one of those schools, he would be considered a front runner for the Heisman just because he put up some crazy numbers.
He definitely did.
That just makes me appreciate him that much more, knowing that he just remains so loyal to the UVA family, and I just thought that was really cool.
I'll just add my 2 cents on that. I just stand by what I said 35, 40 minutes ago. I really feel like you and Hawk Jacob aren't wrong about if he beats us and beats Pitt and even wins that BYU game, even though it was late at night, it was a West Coast game, it was still a nationally televised game. But I think if you look over the last 10 years with the growth of the college football playoff from the BCS Bowls, it used to be the Alliance. And I have nothing against Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard. I was a Desmond Howard fan growing up. But I think one thing that irks a lot of people, which is why people like Hawk are appreciated, is because we have now seen a transition. I've talked about this on Hawk's platform a lot, a transition in media, sports media, where they are obvious agendas. And I think even if Brendan had balled the way he did and you guys had won the Coastal and he would have been first team ACC, I feel like that doesn't fit the narrative. And that's what has really ruined it for a lot of people that are anti-ESPN or Fox Sports, is that you have guys on these college game shows or even NFL, especially college. NFL, it is what it is, but there's an agenda where they start the season and the preseason pushing certain guys. And then when a guy comes out of nowhere, it's almost like there's an uphill battle for them to get recognized. And it's just crazy because, case in point, it used to be a time, 20 years ago in the late 90s and early 2000s where you could work your way into a national championship game, or you could work your way into a situation where you got invited to the Heisman or to some of the other national college football awards. But it is a have and have not situation, specifically in college football, where you have to overcome a lot. Like, I have seen guys on those shows firsthand push teams that they want, or you'll wonder, why is this team still ranked over this team and they lost? Or, because case in point, man, and I don't want to stir the pot with the SEC, but they have gotten so much credibility and cachet where if you take a look at some of their out-of-conference schedules, they don't play anyone, but they get the benefit of the doubt saying, well, they're in the SEC And look at the SEC's bowl record this year. I know bowl games aren't a true indicator all the time, but some guys are living off history, and they have guys in the media that push certain narratives. I used to write for Rivals and 247 Sports. You can look this up. And I know the history behind it. I wrote for Rivals. You got really people like with a lot of integrity like Jackie, but there are a lot of people that do the ranking system that have certain teams and certain guys they are going to give stars to because of the program they're at, where a kid in Northern Virginia or in Southwest Virginia is better and passes the eye test from people like me and Hawk who know the game, but maybe a 2-star. So he was fighting an uphill battle, man, and it's just unfortunate. But at the end of the day, man, when you get the opportunity on the big stage, whether it's the NFL or a championship game, that's when you let everybody know.
Thanks for giving that insight, Dwight, because, like, I always thought that, but I'm no professional. But, like, I've always felt like these big-time programs, like, these kids, they talk to these, get feedback from these higher-ups, and the higher-ups are telling a lot of these kids, like, you're going to get drafted and make all these promises, but they tell them, they put that little thing in their ear that if you go to a school like Oklahoma or you go to a school like Michigan or anything like that, it's going to up your draft stock and you're going to have more credibility. And it's cool.
I'm sorry to cut you off. And I hate it too. And, Hawk has been in the NFL camp. I've been in NFL camp. Let me tell you something. When I got released from the Baltimore Ravens, there were guys that stayed a few weeks after me. Some even made the practice squad that were from Morgan State and small HBCUs. So I don't regret going to the university I did go to. I didn't regret going to Tech. It's just that if you're talented, my father always told me this, you will get your chance when the opportunity comes. Politics, as usual, as Jay-Z said, it's going to be everywhere. But Brennan's fighting politics, and that's just the way it is. Everyone knew Pickett, it was his trophy to lose. And the reality is, I didn't realize until I think it was the UVA Pitt game. I didn't realize Youngin was like 26, 25 years old. I was like, yo, what? He on the Chris Winkie plan.
Yeah, he was Chris Winkie.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, there is an agenda, man. Like, and it just happens that way. But anybody that puts on those pads and plays the game at the high level will know that eventually, when the smoke clears, the ballers are going to show up. You just gotta you gotta actually kind of ignore that stuff. It's frustrating for fans because intelligent fans really understand what's going on. They see what they see, but there is definitely a narrative with a lot of college football shows and media, and like I said, even with the recruiting rankings. I've gotten into it with several when I used to write for 247 and Rivals. I used to get into it with them all the time. And I'm a 757 guy, and I'm always going to rep the 757, but I'm a VA guy. I've lived in Southwest Virginia. I've lived in Richmond, and I currently been living in Northern Virginia for 20 years. Well, Oscar Smith is a powerhouse, but for 3 straight years, Westfield took them to town in the state championship. But many of the guys on Westfield's team were talented, had D1 offers, but there was very little coverage of them from recruiting services because they just didn't feel like they were up to par. And that's what I mean about the biases and the narrative. And it happens with offers. There's guys I've seen that get Tech and UVA offers or an offer from Pitt. And then when a SEC school or a Clemson or a Big Ten school offers, all of a sudden you notice they re-rank their ranking. That's just the system, man. It's a hustle, bro. It's a hustle.
Nah, I can see what you're saying because it's making it so I live here in Richmond, and even in Richmond, all these players, when you talk about high schools having credibility, a lot of these players are trying to transfer. They're good players at their high school, but they're trying to transfer to these higher up schools like Thomasdale or there's a couple other really good schools down here, Highland Springs. And it's all because they're being told that the credibility at these schools is where you're going to get your notoriety.
Yeah, and that's been going on forever. I mean, Hawk and I played at one of the best high school programs in the history of Virginia, and people said we were recruited or whatever. I mean, what happens is, and if a guy moves into the community, he's like, hey, where's the best program? You saw that with Sunshine when you remember the Titans. So, I mean, it's a fine line with, and I have 3 kids, and they're all athletes. You got to look at your son or daughter's future. But I think when it comes to it, if you're playing for a good coach and a good program and you hit the camp circuit, depending on your sport, football and basketball, you're going to get noticed if you have the grades or whatever. And when it comes to the collegiate level, guys like Brennan, I think it just comes down to when you perform on the field and if he stays healthy, has a season he's supposed to have, the right scouts will take notice. I mean, there's some bad GMs out there. We've seen that. I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, listen, Daniel Jones and Mitch Trubisky got drafted, okay, in the first round. So, I mean, there's some, but again, when the Manning signed off on Daniel Jones, Hawk knows this, it was a done deal. And I'm not taking shots at Peyton. I respect the hell out of him, you know, but at the same time, I mean, that's just the way it goes. But when you get your opportunity, keep in mind, Russell Wilson was not even supposed to play at Seattle. They took the Seahawks took the guy from Green Bay that was Aaron Rodgers' backup. He had that great game when he threw like 6 or 7 touchdowns. They signed him to a big deal, but Russell Wilson came in the third rounder and he balled. And Pete Carroll didn't even take his own safety out of USC. He took Cam Chancellor, and you saw what that did for him. Mm-hmm. So the right GMs, the right coaches on all levels will know the difference between hype and manufactured hype versus performance.
Dwight, when you talk about politics in this, I mean, of course we see that, but how much of this is based on lobbying? You know, with your communication department, with your PR person, and helping to push narrative early on. So I know that a lot of this is being written for next year right now. You know, they're trying to guess where things are going to be. And is it upon the school to put out press releases, to put out PR, to try to get stories written and stuff? Because I know if you've been writing, you know that people are contacting you trying to get stories about their school or about their players, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a phenomenal question because I forgot about that. That plays a huge part. I know when I played back in the 90s and even now, especially with social media and the ACC network, the university's media department has to do their due diligence and push a player. I mean, and I've seen that done. I remember, I forgot his name. It might have been the first card, not the one that's there now, but the older brother. Oregon put a billboard all across their entire region pushing the first card brother for the high. So, exactly. I mean, I can't speak on Hawk. Anybody knows me in this space knows I only speak on what I know. But I don't know UVA's media department, but I do know they do have to do their due diligence and push Armstrong because I used to hate stuff like that back in the day, but that stuff definitely makes, you know, the Twitter, the highlights on the UVA football account. Okay,
next logical thought would be NIL, right? So how does that play into it? Can a player push themselves, or can an entity interested in a player push from a direction? You know, could a Nike decide that they're going to take a Brennan Armstrong and push him through with a narrative?
Man, if Nike jumped in, if Nike jumped in on any player, that would push them at the top of the list because we know that, I mean, that's like a stamp of approval. Like, oh, they push him. He must be legit. Or if Coach Saban said this about a guy. So you on it, Steve. Like, that's what it boils down to in sports, right? It's like, it's in anything. If you repeatedly see it over and over and you repeatedly hear a narrative over and over, sooner or later it grows legs and then it's like second nature. Like you just say, oh, so-and-so's the best. Because you keep hearing, you feel like you're hearing a lot of people saying he's the best, but you just see it a lot. And that's how powerful social media is. That's how powerful like marketing is.
And I'll just add, me and Hawk, like I said, we've been tight. I've known him all my life, played high school ball, played against him in college. So we always have these conversations. I'll just add, he said something several years ago, and I don't know Brennan like Hawk and some of you guys that cover the team or even follow the team, but I do think in today's game, and it's funny because my son said his high school basketball coach said, I want you to be arrogant and you have to be cocky. I think the humility approach, the Art Monk, the old school, you know, the Grant Hill personality is respected, but you almost have to be your own brand and push yourself. I don't know Brennan, but if he came out in an interview in ACC Media Day and said, you know, I feel like I'm the best quarterback in this league, I'm not going to tell him to say that, but I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think you kind of, in football, especially when you wear a helmet and pads and, UVA and Tech and schools like them are trying to rebuild their brand, you got to kind of market yourself. I think if you're quiet and you just put your mouthpiece in and you jog on the field, a lot of people look at what? A lot of people look at certain people, certain programs like the Spurs. When they won those 5 championships with Popovich, people were like, oh, my God, they're boring. And, what's funny is the Golden State Warriors share the ball and they run a similar offense, but Curry is so captivating and he's dancing and shimmying. It looks like it's so much more fun and exciting because he's selling himself. So that would be my feedback to Brendan is like, you got to also, to your point, jump on those opportunities and push your own brand. And UVA's got to get behind that because that's what sells. And that's how you get attention.
I just feel.
Can I ask you about that, though? I mean, you brought up a very interesting point. The player for the Spurs all those years.
Duncan.
I mean, no, maybe I'm thinking about a different guy.
David Robinson?
No, not Robinson. The guy after that. He played at Wake Forest.
That's Duncan.
That's Duncan.
Played at Wake Forest.
I mean, he was never a beat your chest guy, and I don't think Robinson was either. And like you said, they did fine. So I only played in high school, so I don't understand this level of professional play like you guys do. But it seems like more and more that that's all you see on TV or whatnot is the guys that beat their chest. And I don't know.
I think, but not to cut you up, but I think that speaks to what we're discussing, right? So I always like to go to boxing, right? Because boxing is an individualized sport. So when we think of all the great boxers, they talked. They had this. The ick factor is like a look at me. As much as we love Tebow still had to look at me. He did. He would beat his chest. He would chomp in people's face. He wouldn't outwardly be cocky, but he was still right there towing the line. But I look at boxing, right, and any polarizing figure you say in boxing, majority of them was outgoing. This guy's like an Andre Ward that people don't talk about that I believe is one of the best ever. He's introverted. He doesn't talk that much. You got Bud Crawford right now currently. I mean, a lot of people don't know boxing now, but the guys that I say are like introverted guys, but the guys you probably heard about, like an Adrian Broner, who's not as good as those guys, you hear about him because he's a look at me. We look at the NFL, we love a Tom Brady, but we know Tom can still be fiery. Like if you go to all the football guys, and I'm not saying be boisterous, I'm just saying that's what people market. They always say like with Kawhi Leonard when he won his championships, like, can we market him because he doesn't talk? You know what I'm saying? It's just one of the things that's the culture we live in. Not saying you should. It's like you got to find that fine line of when you're asked to talk, you can show you are personable and you got charisma. And then you got the guys who take it and run with it, and they come more ego guys than production. AB. It goes off on all the way left.
Hawk, you're the best one to talk to about this because you've been the billboard, you've been the franchise ticket, you've been the brand, So it's up to the organization whether or not they're going to take a player and build their brand around the player, knowing that they're going to be around for a while, or if they're going to build their brand around the team or around a coach. The organization's got to decide how best to position themselves. And right now, Virginia football doesn't have a winning brand. So putting it behind a Brendan to bring us into a different, or behind a Tony Elliott or behind something other than Virginia football is kind of the way to go. And you look at that, when you think of the Spurs, they built a name around the Spurs. The organization decided we're going to brand ourselves that way, and we're going to bring in players that are okay with that. We're not going to bring in a name that needs to be the superstar, needs to be the ticket on the billboard. You think of Cleveland, when you think of a team like that, you wouldn't think of Cleveland being a winning brand, but when they had LeBron, they rode that out, for as long as they could. So I think it depends on the organization. And right now, because we're battling against Virginia Tech football in trying to win recruits, trying to win everything, I think we need a little something extra. And this jumping on the Brendan, letting him ride us to the next level might be the best way to go. And we've probably seen evidence of that in the past where it's worked for us. I know Chris Long did that for us. So, you know, I really like that idea of marketing and communication, PR, and doing their due diligence with going in and writing these press releases, getting these stories written about these players. But I just don't know how the NIL and these rules might help a player out to allow them to position themselves without the school. You know, can Brendan go out and start with a PR person on his team writing press releases for him? You know, I also see like those that follow basketball, we started seeing a lot. The face of the basketball program became Jay Huff last year and the year before because he was in the media a lot and started doing a lot of fun things. And you started seeing a different Virginia basketball through the eyes of a player like Jay Huff.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a first for us to see it like that. And Kyle Guy, you know, became a face, but he didn't really do the same thing that Jay Huff did with being on publicity and things like that all the time.
And I think in anything, what can't be lost is so you're a walking brand. Your product has to be superior first. So you got to produce on the field. As far as building like that momentum and then getting, you know, a PR team or your school, like, yeah, everybody has a hand in it. But just knowing Brendan personally, Brendan's just going to worry about playing football, which that's all he should. Like if the university, any university is serious about their star player being in consideration for a major award, they have to promote. It was no different than when Sean Moore. I mean, Sean was here. You had the Herman's Reyes right here. Like they pushed those, like their play spoke for itself. You identified that they were special. And then you say, hey, look at this guy. You point at him. And when they point and they finally look, well, that player still got to produce too. And you got to win. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, last year we were just 500. So that's why Brendan, even though we knew he was great, we know winning is attached to the quarterback, or any position really. Like, rarely do you see a Heisman go to the ceremony and he's like a game or two above 500. So, you know, we gotta do our part, and I think that plays a role. But I see Big Red here. He could chime in because he played with the GOAT and he played on number one team. So I know he could speak towards that as well, if you want to speak. He may not be able to speak.
No, I'm right here. I was saying, thinking about being the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, but being brash. But no, I think it takes some of what everybody is saying, right? Mm-hmm. Like in this, like when me and Sean were playing, like, you know, I was one of the Lombardi and Outland Trophy Award winners, and so they had like these postcards they would send out every week, and they were tracking like pancake blocks or how many yards we rushed for or whatever, and they send those things out to like all the media folks, and I mean, it's like every week it was a different postcard, and then they created the big poster. They send the posters out to like all the media people, but those times have changed because of social media and because of all those things that you guys have been talking about. So it takes all of it. It takes the university, the athletic department getting behind Brendan and pushing him out there. It takes Brendan maybe stepping out of his comfort zone a little bit, and not that you have to go be like a jerk about it, but like even if you just like, you know, if he had a group that put together like his little highlights every week, and he just on his page he posts the highlights versus, you know, the university posting highlights. They could do it too, but he like posted on his page and those types of things, showing some personality. Even if your personality is introverted, there's still a way to kind of to allow people to see that part of you and learn that part of you. So it takes some of all of those elements that you guys were just talking about. And especially in this new age with social media, you know, with all the stuff they're doing with the NIL, like, shoot, he probably could go find a PR firm to kind of promote him. I mean, if you look at how, you know, Texas A&M is creating LLCs around all the different recruits, you know, that, and, upwards of $30 million they spent to get the number one recruiting class in the country. Like, there's really no regulations around it. So who says that he can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Other than maybe, you know, UVA saying that you can't use, you know, like their their logos and things or something other like that. But there's ways around that. But I think it takes all of it. But the most important one that it takes is what Ahmad said about the winning. Like, because what will happen is, you're putting up all these stats, but you're not winning games. So then the national perspective of that is that those are empty stats. That you're doing it either when you're trying to come back from being way down, or you're way up against a team that wasn't any good, and you're just padding stats. And so winning is a big part of all of those awards. Like Ahmad said, you don't see the finalists at the Heisman Trophy thing from teams that are a game above 500. Those are teams that are in the hunt for the championship, like those types of things. And then those moments, in those moments where you're playing a team that is respected around the country, you can't just put up good numbers. You have to win that game with those numbers. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a really important piece of if you really truly are pursuing the Heisman Trophy as a really true candidate that can win versus one that's just in the conversation. And those are two totally different things.
I definitely hear I completely agree. You got to win games. When it comes down to it, winning is the most attractive thing to anybody. But I feel really bad for the student athletes sometimes, because sometimes I bet you it feels like if you don't go to an Alabama, a Clemson, an Oklahoma, a Notre Dame, I bet you sometimes it feels like you don't have a shot at any of these type of awards. Like even Cincinnati this year, they went undefeated. And because they're not one of those big names, down to the very last day, people were still saying that they didn't deserve to be in the playoff.
Well, I will say on Cincinnati's defense, I think one of their corners won the Thorpe Award, I think. I want to say that one of them did
you're right.
the Thorpe Award. So.
And the real honest truth of what you're just saying, the Heisman Trophy is a big school, dominant school, championship school trophy. Yep. It ain't someone from Cincinnati or freaking UFC, Central, Florida, something like it's going to be hard for them dudes to win the Heisman if they don't go undefeated and freaking win a championship. If you have a halfway decent quarterback at Alabama that's putting up good stats, or a running back or whatever, and they're winning the national championships, that's just the nature of the beast, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and there's no way around it. Like the year that Sean was in the race for the Heisman, man, we would have had to go undefeated for him to really elevate, to a place where he could really truly have a win in that situation, because that's when Miami was big, Florida State was big, Oklahoma, Nebraska, all these big time traditional football teams were good and had good football players. And so it was going to be hard for even for someone like Sean. If we didn't go undefeated, then his opportunities were gonna fade, like those types of things. So winning, it's just part of it, man. And if you're not at the right school winning the right way, then your chances of winning a Heisman are just gonna be slim. That's just part of it.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. More of what I was just trying to say, that it really sucks that you almost have to be perfect at a school like UVA to be considered for those type of things.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, like he said, it comes down to past reputation. Like you can lose, some quarterbacks can lose multiple games if they season was just that special. I brought Lamar Jackson because he was just so special that you saw him. Who was it? Johnny Manziel as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have your outliers, but like Big Ray said, those schools are usually in the top 5 all year. As long as that signal caller is not throwing the game away and he's efficient, he's going to be considered for it. That's just is what it is, man. That's going to be on repeat. It's no different what we see in basketball. One of these blue bloods usually got one of the preseason players of the years and stuff like that. You'll have freshmen come in. Oh, he's the player of the year. He ain't even played in college yet, but he went to one of the big schools.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But what you said is right, man. You do got to be perfect if you're not, because you Cinderella.
Yep.
You got to prove it.
Ahmad?
Yep.
It's Ron here.
What's up, Ron?
I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk because Tremaine wasn't here, so I didn't want to be.
No, the country twang is only for Tremaine, not you.
So showing my age a little bit, and I'm sure Ahmad and Ray will remember this, but back in it was the late 80s, early 90s when the kid from Holy Cross was in the Heisman race. Because he played Iron Man football, played both sides of the ball.
Yeah, right. That's too old for me, man. What you
only reason why he's even considered was because, like Ray was saying, the postcards, Holy Cross was sending out freaking pamphlets, postcards, anything they get their hands on with how many snaps he played in the game, what he did on offense, what he did on defense. Because they wasn't winning no games. He was just playing both sides of the ball. And he didn't get considered because he was good. He got considered because of all the publicity the Holy Cross put out.
So it looks like we're going to have to get to work for BA.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Tremaine will have to make some videos every week.
The Heisman Trophy is for a top 15 school, period. If you're not in the top 15, you're not going to get no serious love from any of the Heisman voters because you're not on college game day every week or what have you. And it's just the way the game's played now. It sucks, but it is what it is. But
it's a team sport. You know,
it is a team sport.
So,
but the Heisman is an individual award.
It is, but you see them get up on the mic, and the first thing they do is say, "I couldn't have done this without my team. The team made this possible." You know, a quarterback, a running back, hell, a lineman, any of it, they're only going to be successful if they have a successful group with them. I heard Chris Long talk about that on the podcast the other day where, you know, he was like, you know, you get stuck on a team. It doesn't matter how good you are. If the rest of the team isn't up at a level, you're not going to have individual success on, you know, any kind of level because you're going to be the outlier. You're going to be the person that's focused on, you know, okay, this guy's on the field. He's going to get the ball. He's going to get the looks. All the defense slants towards him. You're just not going to get it. But, you know, I kind of think that when you're on a bad team and you're sending it and you're making it without a great team, then shouldn't that speak more, you know? And maybe that's the narrative that you got to go for, like when you're sending out these cards or when you're, you know, sending out press releases.
That'll get you a lot of attaboys, but that ain't gonna get you top five Heisman Trophy votes, bro. Like you can be throwing for tons of yards and your team is under 500. Great story, awesome. We can do maybe a little thing about you on ESPN and all that. Pat you on the back, make you feel good about yourself, but that's not going to elevate you to the Heisman Trophy because the other part of we've said that the trophy is winning. Like that's just a part of it. Like whether
it's not even, you know what I'm saying, respect on the ACC network.
Yeah,
you know, so even our own network's not going to talk about him.
If you're not winning like that, like I said, if you're just a game above 500 or you're 500 and you don't have, you know, you're not really competing for championships. I'm telling you, like, you know, living out here in Seattle and like trying to like, you know, I wear Virginia gear almost every day. I have, you know, like, and so, and talk about Brendan and stuff like that. And people look at that and it looks like empty yardage because you're not beating anybody. You're not winning anything. And it's like, oh yeah, he threw for a lot of yards, but they ain't beat nobody. Who did they beat? You know, James Madison or something, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like they're, you know, and so you have to,
you're right.
You have to win and it doesn't make it right that it's that way, but that's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? It's if Brendan can get some promotional and they can mention him every now and again, but it's not going to elevate him. If they're not winning championships or well above 500, you know, 1 or 2 losses, it's not going to elevate him to the place where we would like to see him elevated for the Heisman. It could be a great story to tell, but that's part of it.
Yeah, I do agree 100%. Like you can't go 6-6 and expect to win the Heisman. It's just more of what I was saying. Like if you do have a good enough season to go maybe 9-2 at UVA, then I think you should be in the same breath as a kid from Alabama who went 9-2
But
That
then you
may be
deal
a
with
slightly better
that
record.
ACC, SEC.
Yeah,
politics.
you're right. I just it's just tough. I do believe it's also a sport thing. I think in this like sport of football and basketball, if you want to win these type of awards, you got to put winning on the field or court. Where in like a sport like baseball, you could have the worst record in the whole league, but you have a star player like Mike Trout, and he's putting up crazy statistics, and he still wins the MVP. And the sport of football, you're right. You need to put winning on the field if you want to have those type of awards.
But going back to the topic of Brandon,
that's the month.
Being back, we got Coach Elliott, who was the coach for Lawrence when he won the Heisman. We've got the tools in place to put Brandon in the right position for that award for the team to win games this year.
Can y'all hear me? I think I'm driving through
you're
a bad.
good.
Yeah.
It blanked out for a sec, but you're back.
The volume.
There's Tremaine. Not sure what everybody heard what I said. I said you got to remember Coach Elliott was Lawrence's coach whenever he won the Heisman. So we've got the pieces in place as far as the staff goes to lead Brennan in the right direction if that's what our goals are, is to be a 9-10 wins team and put Brennan at the showcase of a Heisman campaign. But there still has to be some campaigning done on the school's part as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why what Ray said was absolutely right. Like everybody has to do their part. Brennan has to play at a high level. The team has to make sure we're winning games, and of course the university and the media department do their due diligence of getting the numbers out and videos and what they make. So everything works hand in hand. But in football, it's all about being the ultimate team sport. And Kenny Pickett was in New York because of what he did in the ACC. So you remember that the bill of that game was between those two, and it was like, all right, whoever win this will probably end up going to New York. It was a lot riding on that game. So Brendan was getting his love, but we never really separated ourselves. Like as soon as we separated ourselves with wins, we lost to BYU, and then we lost to Notre Dame.
Even with the loss to BYU, if he hadn't have been injured and played Notre Dame, I think the Notre Dame game would have been a lot different than what it came out to be. And then, of course, if we'd have won the Pitt and the Tech game, I'm pretty sure he would have been in New York. I don't think he would have won because Bryce Hall won it. Bryce from Alabama had it won first day of the season, but he would have been there anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like before you came on, I was like, with the losses of BYU and Notre Dame, if we just win the last two ACC games, he's in New York. I mean, now granted, we still had to win the ACC championship because I think that's what really put Pickett. Of course, he had the fake slide as well, so that put more eyes on him. But like Pickett had a story. Like he had a breakthrough year, and then he's breaking records by Dan Marino. So they used that. So what's going to happen this year with Brendan? Well, he'll probably rewrite the record books here if he continues on the same trajectory. Just having a season like he did this year, just a little bit lower, he'll break so many records here. You win 8 or 9 games. You got to get to the ACC championship. You got to represent the Coastal, get to the ACC championship. Because I'm just being real and fair. Like, if somebody from UVA is at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, I want to make sure that it's an attractive bid, not just they just 2 games over 500. Why is he here? You don't want nobody second guess anything. You want to be representing the conference, or he just lost the conference championship, but the team lost 1 or 2 games on the year. So it still justifies him being here, similar to when Lamar Jackson went there. So, yeah, man, everybody has to do their part. And I think this year the ball is going to be rolling that much more faster, because if you look at last year, 5-5, and he was okay. You know what I'm saying? He had his games, but he was just a lot of people still had question marks on him. This year, he's considered the best quarterback in the ACC. So he's going to be first team all ACC. Somebody might be pushing up for player of the year in the ACC. So with that, he'll be on some All-American, preseason All-American teams possibly. So that put him in that conversation for the Heisman without him even taking a snap next year. So he'll be ahead of the game. So he just had to, do what he do and then allow the coaches to put guys in position to help him out. You can't be out there chasing that trophy, which I don't think he's going to do. But as a player, you can't chase that trophy because you just got to do your job and allow the chips to fall when they may.
Wahoo wah.
Wahoo wah. Hey, Tremaine,
Good
what's
time
up,
to be
man?
a wahoo.
What the hell is going on, man? I almost hit a hole in one yesterday, man, but it got that snow coming here, man. I tell you.
Ron, I just want to let you know you my new favorite person.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Hey, man, you got to stick together. Ain't nothing wrong with it. The girls, they dig my accent. Not anymore. Love you, honey.
I can't hang around you if you hang around a bunch of women. I'm married, brother. So
that's what I just said.
But I'm gonna talk to you from across the street.
You heard me. I just said love you, honey. Like y'all not fitting to get me.
Oh, look at you! You got popped in the back of the head, didn't you? Yo, John Brown Hindpots got you in trouble, boy.
Yo, did. No, I'm married, man. I didn't know if you knew that.
Oh no, we found out because I heard that slap to the back of your head, and you got a bald. I got a bald head, and you got a bald head.
Yeah, Ballhawk. I don't know if you remember this. Me and you met. The first home game.
You came up to the clock tower before.
Yep. I didn't know if you. I saw that. I found that photo.
You think I'm gonna forget that damn head you got?
No, some people. I was gonna post a photo.
UVA is fucking trash, bro.
I probably still will.
Be a fan of UVA, bro. They're fucking dog shit.
Hey, thanks, brother. Hey, make sure you go to bed at 9:30 or you're going to get your PlayStation taken away.
Hey, thanks, brother.
All right, brother. Hey, be blessed, brother.
Head ass.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, what was you saying?
Hey, I'm going to take my belt to his ass. Who was...
Hey, man, somebody let that nephew out. Knowing that boy been on punishment all week. Get your ass back in the angry corner, boy.
Go get your man.
Put the dunce hat on.
Yeah, and learn. He sound, but get some hooked on phonics, but you messing with the wrong one. This ain't the right space. This ain't the right space.
Boy, you don't want Petty Hart to bring out his belt. Matter of fact, go give me a switch.
A switch. Yeah.
Bro, what the hell was that?
Crack kills. That's all I can say.
Wait a minute. Hold on. This is a drug-free zone podcast. We don't make fun of folks who are under the influence. We want you to go get help. This is not euphoria. I know the new season is out. Go.
Mental awareness. I agree with. I don't know who said it, but no, it's true. So there are things that like we can do. We live in a day and age that even though we might not be a top 15 team and all that, they can't ignore social media. And so, videos, I know you mentioned something about doing videos. I could do that. People retweet it and all that. That part of it, they absolutely can't ignore because fans have more power now in sports than they ever have. But in that same token, if we aren't putting W's on the board, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what BA is doing. Yeah, it's just gonna. And to your point, Ballhawk, you're absolutely correct because up until the Pitt game, it was Kenny could be at the presentation or BA could be at the presentation, and then once we lost that game, there was no more BA talk to the stage. So he absolutely has all the tools, and he 100% has capability to just absolutely shatter any and every record that is currently hold at UVA. But we got to keep W's. We got to keep W's on the board. Otherwise, it's just a phenomenal career at quarterback at UVA.
Another thing. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Iman.
Oh, you good, bro? You good?
But another thing is something we need to take on as fans. It's easy to, and I'm guilty of it all the time, to point the finger at these media outlets and everything like that. But we as fans got to start
shut your
selling
bitch ass up. That's why UVA ain't done nothing for 20 goddamn years.
Oh my God, he got burner accounts.
You can get rid of him. You can't
hold on. Everybody, let him talk. Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep spinning on.
Go ahead and talk.
Bitch ass.
Go ahead and talk.
You can't get rid of me.
Talk.
You
Go
mad?
ahead.
You must have no time.
You mad? You can't kick me, bitch ass. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. Shut up.
I'm not gonna do nothing.
Here. Watch.
You real tough behind them burner accounts, boy.
They always talk at smack behind the burner accounts. Always.
That's sad.
Hey, I mean, they just need attention, man. That's, I understand. Like, a lot of people in person really don't care for you, and then they go to the internet, and it's just so unfortunate, man. I just want to give them a hug. You know what I'm saying?
Before I was so rudely cut off by that young man, what I was saying was us as fans got to start selling out Scott Stadium because. Believe it or not, that people see that and they're like, well, if their own fans don't show up, what makes us think that one of their players deserves a big award like that? So we gotta us as fans gotta do that.
That's a challenge. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. And that's what OG Who and the space he's been holding on Wednesdays at 8:00. Just trying to come up with different ideas, whether it's the NIL, whether it's the fan experience. Providing ideas to our athletic department and those officials to help improve the experience. That's a great thing, man. And that's why I appreciate about the spaces, utilizing it in a positive fashion in which they hear the spaces. Like, they always provide me feedback and they appreciate the fans that come in and are just open and honest and transparent. And you're right, man. Like I said, everybody has to do that part. We all got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what can I do better? If everybody approaches it, what can I do better? Then the program is going to improve because we're all striving for the same goal, is to elevate this program. Let me get Patrick in here. Now this kid going to have me like screening folks looking at their profile, which I don't want to do.
Ain't nobody else allowed on the platform today.
I know Patrick, so he good. But if I don't know somebody's name, I'm gonna have to tell him, like, the troll to mess it up for everybody.
Better go get a coloring book or something.
That boy had burner. He said, I got burner. He happy about having burner accounts. Like, you happy that you got to use 3 different aliases just to get attention? Like, come on, brother.
Hey, can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I'm a diehard Hokie, but I got a lot of respect for UVA. And I'm just anxious to see what Tony Elliott does with that offense and what Brent Pry does with the defense here at Virginia Tech. And we lock the state of Virginia down and keep all these players here in Virginia.
Facts, bro. Facts. I appreciate that. Salute to Coach Pry, man, what y'all doing down there at Tech, man. As much as y'all are rivals, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the product is improving on both ends because it makes the game that much more fun, especially the lead up and the actual visual when they come on the field. And y'all got Fontel Mons, one of our former players, so definitely take care of him. Definitely proud of him. And you're right, bro. As much as folks talk trash, it's the all season. And you want to see both programs continue to try to elevate because that clash is that much more powerful and meaningful, man. So
the amount of revenue it brings to the state, man. I mean, when you got two elite colleges right here in both of our backyards. I mean, I live in Bedford, so I'm an hour and a half from Virginia Tech, an hour and a half from UVA.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's the amount of revenue. Even I'm rooting for Richmond, Liberty. I'm rooting for everybody. I mean, but when we play you, I ain't rooting for you, but
oh, exactly.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the whole state, man. I mean, come on, look at Georgia and Alabama. I mean, there ain't shit in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but the University of Alabama. I mean,
Now you on it, man. Yeah, definitely, though. Definitely appreciate you jumping on, man. Anytime you see me on and you want to share, you're more than welcome, man. I don't mind Hokie fans or Carolina fans. Like, I just like talking sports, man. So I
That boy can't
absolutely.
come back on. No, that boy cannot come back on.
That boy, not today. Not today. He wore out his welcome. Like my grandma, like my big mama say, he didn't wore out his welcome for the day. He try again tomorrow.
Hey, Hawk, real quick, man. I want to expand on something though, and this is something that talking about the fans and talking about filling up Scott Stadium. Something I'd like to encourage fans too is, man, throw on the VN Sabres, get out there to some high school football games, and if you know we're offering these kids in the state, man, throw on your VN Sabres out there and go and rep the University of Virginia there. I mean, if you got a crew, take the whole crew. I mean, let them know that UVA has fans that will support them, man. It's important, bro.
That's a great statement, bro.
Yeah, that's 100% true because I don't see it's kind of bittersweet because, like I said, I live in Richmond and I went to Matoka High School, and Keyshawn Burgos, who sadly flipped to Virginia Tech out of our recruiting class, I went out once he committed to UVA. You know, I wanted to make sure I got out there with my V Sabres on, and believe it or not, he pointed me out. He was like, That's awesome that you come and you cheer for me. You don't even know me, but they definitely notice.
Facts, bro. Facts. Hey, look, man, they had me scanning the dude Michael to see if I could bring him up as a speaker. Little buddy didn't ruin it for everybody, but Michael, you were speaking now. I'm looking like, okay, is this kid again? Oh, no, that
ain't. I'm a Hurricane fan, but I'm not going to be disrespectful. I live in the state of Virginia, so I understand what the two programs of Virginia Tech and UVA mean to the state. I'm also an ODU alum, but I have a quick question.
ODU, I saw that.
I have a quick question. With ODU progressing and with them moving up to the Sun Belt and with JMU future going to the Sun Belt, how do you think that's going to impact the competition in state recruiting?
I love it, man. I love it because, you know, as much as everybody want to they want to win the state, right? Whether it's UVA, whether it's Virginia Tech. But when you got schools like ODU and JMU being great at what they're doing and moving up and applying more pressure to the, quote, big schools of the state, think of the high school kids and the opportunity they have of still going to a big school because ODU is very respectable, JMU is very respectable, Liberty is very respectable. So that's more opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So as much as I'm competitive and I want my school to dominate, I'm thinking about these young people and the opportunities and the eyes that will be on them. And they may, like, I'm from the 757. Now you go to ODU, eyes are on you because it's respected and scouts are coming in and people understand that you're going to be successful, man. So, yeah, man, that's a great question. And I love it. I love it, bro. And we play ODU. We got ODU on our schedule, matter of fact.
We play Tech, ODU. We play Tech, UVA, East Carolina, and I think
that's a great thing.
It's a hard non-conference for us this year. And I have another question.
Yep.
When you was in high school, who would you say is like the best athlete you faced?
I faced Michael Vick in high school. So he's at the top of the list.
It wasn't football, it was basketball, but I played Carmelo Anthony and JJ Redick.
He asked me. I don't care nothing about you. I don't care nothing about you. Okay, he asked me.
So you played against Oak Hill?
Yeah.
He ain't play.
I didn't play at Oak Hill. I played against Oak Hill.
You played against him.
Yeah.
So, man, you was at homecoming game.
Huh?
You was at homecoming game. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with Tremaine, my guy, man. I don't want people to think I'm just being rude. I joke. Me and him joke a lot. But
tell who you be joking around with that you really be knowing these people. It's all love.
No, it's all love. Yeah. That's my guy.
I only joke with folks I know I got good rapport with. I'm not like some prick that's just going to disrespect somebody. That's one thing I don't try to do. And if I end up disrespecting somebody and they really get pissed, I'm going to apologize. Like, I ain't going to be proud.
No. Yeah. Ball Hawk, my dude. But you can continue. Yeah, mine was, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Ball Hawk, but I was thinking, but JJ Redick, Carmelo Anthony, and I ran state against Thomas Jones in track, and he dusted me.
And I played against Antoine Womack as well. He was my room dog here at UVA, so he was in my district.
What about Ronald Curry?
Great play. He was my quarterback.
Oh, dang.
Oh, so you went to Hampton High?
Yeah, I went to Hampton High. That was my QB. the GOAT, man. That's the GOAT right there.
He's the best you played with, I'm assuming.
Of course, at any level.
I played against the Nichols twins at Radford too.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
We got Danny Nickel up here. You know Danny, he their brother too.
Yeah, I don't
look at you going to look. I'm just joking, man. Look at you going to look. But it's Danny Nickel here, the stat king. You know what I'm saying? He's LeBron James of stats. You know what I mean?
I'm a little younger. I played against Anthony Harris. That was mine.
Ooh, yes, sir.
Hey, Hawk, you never Hey, Hawk, you never played against Bubba Chuck over at Bethel?
Nah, Bubba Chuck got incarcerated.
He was a little bit older.
When I played against Bubba Chuck in Little League Baseball, though. But I never played against him in high school because he got incarcerated, which would have been my freshman year, his senior year.
Okay. I didn't realize he was. I thought it was like a couple years that separated y'all, not that much.
Yeah, Bubba Chuck, my guy.
Do y'all remember C.J. Rivas? He played at Virginia Tech.
C.J. Rivas.
I remember the name, but that's about it. But I do remember the name.
Well, I played against him. I ain't gonna lie, he put me on my ass.
Yeah. Yo, Danny, what's up, man? You gotta work this, Danny. You're gonna mute yourself. There you go. You unmuted now, but I don't know if I can't hear you.
I played against Vic Hall.
You play against Vic?
Yeah, and for Christiansburg in the state semifinals.
Yeah, Vic broke all Ron C records.
Yeah. As somebody just said, I got put on my ass trying to tackle him.
You did?
Yeah, he was a quarterback then. I think he turned to wide receiver or defensive back.
He played everything here, man. He played everything here. He's an exceptional athlete. Exceptional, man.
I work with some of his family out in Alta Vista. They say his little cousin works with me. He was an all-state. I said, why didn't you go to UVA? He said, I didn't have the grades.
Oh, man, yeah. You got to make sure you stay in the classroom, especially trying to get here.
Oh, yeah.
And to speak on to what Michael said about like these other schools going higher up in their conferences and different conferences and such, I do think it's really good also. And I didn't think to mention this when we were talking about it, but with them going higher up, in the beginning of the year, I believe Malik Willis, the quarterback for Liberty, he was being mentioned in Heisman conversations.
He was the number one on the big board.
Exactly. So I think it's. Yeah. I mean, if he can do it, Brennan can do it too. You just got to win.
Oh, definitely. You got to win. Yep, you definitely got to win. I mean, it didn't hurt that. It didn't hurt that because they won at Tech last year, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not throwing shots at Tech guys. I was just trying to make sure. But I think that's when everybody was like, okay, he legit because he beat a school like Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't he come from Auburn?
Yeah, he came from Auburn. They just got Hugh Freeze just got Micah Brewer's little brother, Charlie Brewer.
Oh, word?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze is doing big things at Liberty. I mean,
yeah, bro. It's amazing, man. When dudes move around, like I don't know if I'm gonna get crap for this, but like when Lane Kiffin be moving around.
Oh yeah,
where he go?
Yeah, Kiffin just pulled a kid from our high school, man, this year.
Everywhere Banks. Kiffin go, man, he win, bro. He's successful.
Tyler Banks at Nottoway High School, man. He committed to Ole Miss this year, dude. And I mean, that dude loves Kiffin. I mean, he's a great dude. So
that's why I was kind of sad to see us kick Liberty off our schedule for the future. I love that in-state stuff, man.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, man,
I want to see him. I want to see Tech start playing JMU and Liberty. I mean, more often. I mean, because Hugh Freeze is attracting, some big names. So if you start playing them, I mean, it's gonna attract them to the games and stuff. But
a lot of these players, they know that that's a chance that they get to play against guys they played against in high school, friends. Like, that stuff's. I lived for that stuff when I played. So like, it's awesome.
Facts. Well, man, we've been on this space for a minute now. I just shared a tweet welcoming Justin Sparrows, director of scouting, at the top. Salute to him. But the program making moves, man. Hires seem like happening every day. You know, announcements being made every day. So it's definitely a lot of excitement around the program. I'm just trying to get the reaction from fans, get them talking, making sure they update on what's going on. And, you know, when you talk about it, it calls a different type of energy versus just reading it and moving on. Like, you read it and then you get to discuss it and brainstorm and everybody share their opinions. Like, that's what I love about Twitter Spaces, because a lot of times being a podcaster, you so used to just talking to the mic and you feel like you just talking down to people. But I like to interact and hear other people's ideas and how people combat my thoughts to make me really, like, think about my stance and why I took that stance. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I always engage in Twitter Spaces, man. So,
hey, Amon.
Yeah.
Do you, for these Twitter Spaces, do you give like a heads up, like a few hours in advance before you do one? Because this is the first time Mondays, I've done it. Now I've listened to a bunch of your
on Mondays.
I've listened to a bunch of your podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, Mondays I do 3:30. So Mondays is always at 3:30 p.m. Okay. I think I might push it back to 4 because it seems like once 4 o'clock hit, that's when everybody usually jumps in, like a high flux. But if something happens breaking, I'll try to, like, if I'm done and something else comes out, then I'll follow up the next day and have another one.
Well, I like it. I'm gonna come back. It was
appreciate
a lot of fun.
it, man. Yeah, and this will be uploaded as a podcast episode. It'll be up tomorrow morning. For the folks who follow me, if you don't, you can find me on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. All of these won't go to YouTube just because I leave some of those out. But yeah, any podcast platform. And if you want the help with my visibility and the algorithms, just leave a review on iTunes. I would say that's the easiest way. Like iTunes, when people start leaving reviews and they just write, say, good podcast, or, hey, can you start to think about doing this? Anything you put in there, they see that and it just pushes your podcast up as, more visible. So appreciate y'all, man.
Big words like algorithms. I'm so proud of you.
Man, if you don't go get me some chip beef and shut up.
Hey, I need them to get this meeting set up with Nike real soon. We need to start talking about new uniforms. I'm staying on top of it.
Yeah, you go do that. You go do that,
please,
brother.
Man, please.
You go do that. First of all, you got to put the V and the saber on both sides of the helmets for the fans.
Yes,
that's
sir.
What they want first and foremost.
Preach.
All right. So that's what they want. That's how I was when I was here. They wasn't a fan of being Alabama and UVA at the same time, or having numbers on one side. You know what I'm saying? So they want the V and the sabers back on both sides, and I think that's gonna happen. Just looking at how Coach Elliott had the helmets at the press conference, if that's any indication.
I just feel like right now we look like if Alabama and Auburn had a baby, and that just doesn't sound good.
Oh, you don't like the old school blue jersey?
No, I'm talking about Well, I mean, I don't mind every once in a while, but I think we need to have that as like an alternative jersey.
We need to go back to that dark navy, like that when Ball Hawk and Dex.
Just don't have the daggone Cincinnati Bengal neck.
You
know what I'm saying? I do like our white jerseys though. The white on the blue, I
like that. I like that texture that they did on the white helmets. I'd love to see them keep that.
Tell me why we did an orange jersey
and don't wear
and never wore that, Jank. And we didn't wear the helmets either. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, Bronco never wore the orange, but London and his staff, they wore it a lot actually.
I feel the same way.
Turn around.
I feel the same way about the basketball team. I feel like we should have an orange alternate jersey.
Facts. Right? I'm with you on that.
TBA ain't never going to do it.
Speaking of jerseys, I'm going to wrap this up. But speaking of jerseys, do y'all remember the jerseys that Donald Han and them used to wear when they was here? How big they were? Oh, my God. It was like 3X shorts. Like Travis Watson would get a rebound, had to pull his jersey back over his shoulder before he
I remember.
Oh my God, them jerseys was huge. I saw an old YouTube video. I was like, wait a minute, they ain't no jerseys. I thought Donald Han was sagging. They were just that big.
We look like an N1 commercial.
Exactly, like N1. I was like, oh, we look awful.
No, I agree. I agree with someone said. It was on a different episode that you did, but as much as we had problems with the way Coach London coached at times,
The man had a good eye for fashion.
That was me.
Yeah, we look good.
That was me.
Good. Believe
let's get back to that.
Is that when they were? Is that when they were and one jerseys?
There you go, Danny. Danny in the building. Yep, it was the and one. So it was and one jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Singletary and J.R. Reynolds, the huge shorts.
Oh my God, man! They had on beach towels playing.
They was balling though.
How was they going in between the legs and stuff? With those shorts?
TB ain't never going to do an orange jersey. He's been asked numerous times, and he shut that topic down every time it comes up.
I wonder why though. I wonder why. I don't know.
What did you just call him? TB what?
TB. Just TB.
Oh, I thought you said TBA. I was like, where did the A come from?
No. Just TB. Yeah, he's been asked a couple of times about adding orange alternates, and every time he's like, no.
I know some black. I know the girls team has orange jerseys and such.
They got pink jerseys too, don't they?
Yeah, they got a lot going on except for winning.
We almost made it through the daggone space before somebody took a shot at Tina. It happened.
I'm sorry, Ahmad. I had to do it.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Tina. I love you, man. I do.
I love her. I love her as a person, but we got to start winning, man.
I love you, Tina. Well, don't listen to him. Ballhawk loves you.
I'd like to see us get some orange alternates, but yeah, I
want some black with some blue numbers. They might not look good, but I just
or charcoal gray with and orange.
You want some camouflage?
No,
that's what you said.
No. Get your color.
Danny, man. Hey, Danny, man. Hey, shut up, Tremaine. I got to talk to him right quick. Hey, Danny, man. What's going to be your first stat you going to release for BA? I know you got one in brewing up.
So I had one earlier about the total yards per game, how he's like way ahead of everybody else who's returning. So I might look at some total yards and total touchdowns as far as returning quarterbacks. Because it's going to just be him and C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, obviously. So if you're in the conversation with those two, it's going to obviously boost the status. But like you mentioned earlier, it's got to get more wins and a better defense to get more exposure. But
I'm gonna need someone to make
it's totally fun to be in the conversation. I know it's not going to win, but in order to just have
hey, Dan, you know what,
for another year.
Respectfully, with somebody like you putting out the stats that you put out, and them joints is hard to debate. They need to. Hey, Dan. First of all, ask your permission because we see what you do when somebody don't ask permission. But make sure to ask for your permission, and then they utilize that because them ESPN. The stat boys and stuff there, they can't see you, bro. We back you. We like, hey, push the Danny Nichols stats for BA. Campaign leader right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to need somebody. I need someone to make a killer highlight tape for a BA. Because I look all over and I find ones without music and all that stuff. I need to see one of this season with a killer highlight tape. Because when I see all these Heisman candidates, they have these killer highlight tapes.
I'm going to get on Luke and them. You said it. He going to hear. I'm going to say, hey, Luke, listen to this right here. Get on it. You know what I'm saying? They going to get on it.
Because the material's there.
The material. Oh, yeah. Material there. The balls is there. You just got to put it on wax now. He got the balls. But, hey, look, fellas, we've been on this thing since about 3:15. So I appreciate everybody. My daughter stepping in now for track practice, so I appreciate y'all. As always, man, have a great weekend. Be safe. If you're going to be trapped in the snow, make sure you stock up. Make sure your gas is in your car, just in case your heat or something go out, and you got to charge your phones, man. So I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
Yep, thanks.
All right, and I got Danny Nick on here today. Boy, it's going to be a great weekend, I tell you. My God. Hey, Tremaine.
What?
You still country, and that's how I'm going to end the show. See you later, brother. See you later, alligator.